Oh, I think I turned us on already. Did I? I think I did, maybe, yeah? Did I? Well, I think I may have already hit start. Yes, I did. I sure did. Hi, friends. Hello. Good evening. Hi. Howdy. Howdy. Happy Tuesday. At least I think that's the day, right? Wait. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Happy Tuesday. We are here for a weeknight creative listing session. So welcome to you. Welcome, welcome. If we have not met before, hello. My name is Lael Konkar, and I have a business called Lael by Mail. I usually say when I'm not traveling, on Saturdays we're here. However, I am traveling this Saturday, and so we're here tonight doing what I like to call creative listing. A couple days in advance, I provide a couple of listing topics or prompts, if you will, and when we get together live, I take those topics or prompts and make lists based on them. But we do it creatively, and we play with lots of different products, stamps, washi, die cuts, whatever it may be. And we have fun. But basically what we're doing is we are telling a story. And in a lot of cases it is our own story because the list we're making are lists about ourselves. So that is what we're doing here tonight. If you're watching live, welcome, welcome to you. Nice to have you with me live. I'll take a look at the chat here in a quick second and see who's here. If you are watching the replay, welcome to you as well. If you're live, pop in the chat, let us know you're here, say howdy. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment, let me know you're here, and say howdy. I think I mentioned I have a business, Lael by Mail. Website, laelbymail.com. In the description box of the video, you will find a link, links to a lot of different things. One of them is a link to the products I'm using for tonight's listing session on the website. You will also find a link to my website, and that's just all my products and all kinds of other products too, but you'll find lots of my Lael by Mail products there. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to not only see and watch what I'm using, but find it on the website if it's something you're interested in learning a little bit more about and or purchasing. So welcome to you. Let me check the chat. We'll see who's here and then we'll get rolling. Because I know for some of you it is already late. Some of you it is 8:30 maybe on East Coast time. Some of you, if you are watching from different parts of the world, it may be tomorrow already if you're joining us from Australia, New Zealand. Maybe you're in Europe, and I think then, let's see, 6 to 6, 6 to 8, it's still middle of the night for you. But anyhow, wherever you are, wherever you're joining us from, welcome. All right, let's check out the chat. Hello, Karen Haynes, Terry McCharles. Hi, Terry. Lisa Lackey, she said, hello, can't believe I made it. Well, hello, Lisa Lackey, I'm glad you made it. Hi, Kathy, Wendy McTurk, Mimi, hello, hello. Hi, Wanda, Carol K. Carol K says, love weeknight listings. Yeah, weeknight listings are just a little bit different, right? They are, well, number one, they're on the weeknight, but normally we do our creative listing sessions on Saturdays, and for some of you, Saturdays do not work, right? For one reason or another, or life, Saturdays are hard. So when we do a weeknight listing session, it just kind of makes it a little bit fun. I'm going to simplify a few things tonight since it is a weeknight listing session. Usually I end up running on a night session about usually about 3.5, sometimes 4 hours, and I'm like, I can't do that tonight. So for those of you that are East Coast, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully I figured out a way maybe to shorten some things a little bit tonight. We'll see. We shall see. Famous last words, right? Hi, Melinda. Hi, Carrie Meredith. Hi, Heather Graham. Heather Graham, this is like 2 nights in a row. So last night, some of you may have joined me on a private Facebook Live in the Crafting Through the Holidays Facebook group for an event that I'm teaching at in October. And so Heather was there for that. So nice to see you again, Heather. And anyone else that was there that's going to that event. Good thing I changed my clothes. Well, obviously I would change my clothes from yesterday to today. Well, I don't know, maybe not, obviously. Maybe I just changed last night right before I went live and then thought, oh, those clothes are still clean, I can wear them today. But I didn't do that. I also will be here live tomorrow night. It's kind of a busy week. And then I'm headed out of town to a wedding. So we'll talk about tomorrow night, what's going on here tomorrow night in a second. Nice to see you again, Heather. Hello, John and Kathy Keener from West Virginia. Kathy Keener. Hello, Marian Garcia, Marsha Blount, Cynthia, and Level. Nice to see you, friends. Gigi, hello, Gigi. Anita T. Alyssa Lucas, she says her first live. Well, I'm very excited for you as well. She said she's excited for her first live, and I'm excited for you too. We always have so much fun, don't we? Hello, Mari. Nice to see you, Mari Geiger. Let's see. Carol K said, my dear December delivery is en route. Woohoo or ho, ho, ho. Yes. Carol is talking about my latest paper crafting collection that I released called Dear December. And it has been shipping now for a couple weeks. I think we released that on August 25th. And so, we're just maybe a little bit more than just about 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks under our belt. I will tell you, I've already placed reorders for the 4 packs of die cuts, placed reorders for the reorders for the word strip stickers, and also placed reorders for the paper. So it's been very well received, which just makes my heart happy. So thank you. It's not sold out, don't worry. But I can foresee into the future, right? Different events I'm teaching at, and the fact that it's September and we're not even ready for our holiday crafting yet. So I placed a reorder. So that's kind of fun. I will also tell you that Sunday, move that little ad. Sunday, I finished this up. Sunday, I finished this. Some of you know what that is. That is my December documented project kit for this year. This is the 18th year I've done a project like this. 11th year had a project kit. So it is done. It is full. Instructions are done. I just need to prove instructions, but we're still looking at September 22nd for ship date on that. So you can see more about that little guy on my website. That not little guy, big guy, big guy. Anyhow, I don't know. I was just gonna say something about that, but there's been a lot of late nights lately, getting that done and working on some other projects for classes I'm teaching this fall. So, but very excited. It's always like woo when I finish that, because it is a huge, huge, huge project with a big project kit behind it and all that. I know what I was going to say about that. Monday, this coming Monday, which would be, what's today? Today's the 9th, so 15th, August 15th. Ooh, August 15th. I need to look at my calendar. August 15th is kind of a twofer. August 15th is the September Stamp and Die release, the bi-monthly, so September 15th. Watch for that, news about that, email on Monday. And then Monday night, I will be doing a live flip through and kind of look at up close look at the contents of the kit of that December documented mini book project kit. So watch for emails. Emails are coming out. The other way that you can remember, if you don't already subscribe here on my YouTube channel, hit subscribe and then maybe hit the little notification bell. And that way, it will push that information out to you. You don't need to remember. A little off track today. A little squirreling. Nothing new. A little squirreling. Hi, Nancy. Let's see. I think I already probably said that. Anita, Atlantic time. East Coast time? Atlantic time. East Coast? Anita said, I'm so sleepy tonight, so we'll see how long I last. No, it's not. It's not East Coast. Atlantic time. So, Anita, are you from Upper East Canada? I think that's 1 hour later, isn't it? Like Newfoundland? Maybe. Tell me. Tell me. Because I know, I think. I don't know. That made a lot of sense, didn't it? Making a list of all the products I want from Mail by Mail. Oh, I like that, Kathy. That's a fun one, right? Speaking of that, if you guys didn't know, on my website, there is a wish list function. So on any of the products that you're looking at, you can click add to my wish list. And then if you're logged in, if you have an account on the website and you're logged in, you can go look at that wish list. What's really nice about that, you can email that wish list to other people. So, when you have friends and family, you're so hard to buy for. You just say, hey, guess what? Here's a link. No, I'm really easy to buy for. That sounds like a great list, Kathy. I love it. Hello, Linda Irwin from Ohio. Louise said, nice to see you. You're still at work. I know it's hard when we do a nighttime because 5:30 for Pacific time. So hopefully you're off soon and can join us. Hello, Marilee, working on your swaps for Ready, Set, Create. Love that. Lisa is in Ottawa, Canada. Sarah is Minnesota. Hello, hello. Jennifer, nice to see you. Laura said she's thankful to be here. I am thankful to have you here. All of you here. I'm just looking. Marianne, if anyone has measurements for the white cardstock listing inserts, appreciate it. Marianne, if you want to give a little bit more information, like I'm not quite sure what you are asking. If you can clarify that a little bit and I see it, I'll be happy to answer that. Because I think Amy is on vacation. Amy is driving up the coast of California. And so enjoying some lovely scenery. So she will not be joining us tonight. Amy is my right hand, and usually when I do live, she is here with us, and she's typing links and answering a lot of questions in the chat. So I will do my best to survive without her. Hello, Zen Girls, Denver in the house. Diane said, so glad I get to be on with you tonight. Missed the last one. Love that I can go back and watch it. Yes, if you are new to all of this, there are 5 years worth of these here on my YouTube channel. We started listing over 5 years ago here on my YouTube channel. So you can always go back and watch. And if you can't make a live, once you hit play, you wouldn't even really know that it was a replay, right? Because it seems like you're live. Marcia Blount from Cincinnati. I just don't want to miss anyone. Jolene, any news on dies? So yes, from what I hear from Amy, and Amy knows. She kind of handles all of that, working with the different manufacturers and factories and things like that. I believe they have shipped, so we are still hopefully on track for mid-September, which would be a week from yesterday. And specifically, she is asking about the Dear December postage die, which has been incredibly popular. We're doing something really fun. There's something really fun coming next year associated kind of with that I think you guys will be excited for. All right. Darn ads. I know, Wanda, this is something new. I've never seen ads pop up in the chat before. That's nothing I turned on. I think it's something new that YouTube has done. So I will try to do some research, and if I can figure out what's going on. I mean, I know I have the ability to turn ads on like before you start watching, or maybe after you start watching. I don't know what is going on, why the ads are happening in the chat. And I've been doing YouTube for 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is, and I've never seen that happen until very, very recently. Just know it's very frustrating to me too. I didn't turn it on. We'll see what I can do to figure out if it can turn off. Let's see. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see you. I saw Carrie last night too in the same live. And Gabby. Hi, Gabby. Jolene, I think I got your question on the dies, right? Assuming that's the one you were asking. I think so. So there's just a nice little folder of them just waiting. As soon as they're here, they will go out. Yeah, Zen Girls, squirrels. I do have a lot of things on my mind. A lot these days. It's all good. But Joy, thank you. Joy's asking about my migraine. I did have a migraine Saturday that we just powered through. Yes, thank you. They've been a part of my life since I was 16. So it maybe once a year I get like a debilitating one where I have to turn off all the lights, get sick a couple times, and then take medicine and then go to sleep. But thankfully, that only happens maybe once a year. So annoying and hard to deal with the regular ones I get, but I just kind of have to figure out how to power through them. But yes, thank you. Although I did have another one yesterday. And I know 100% that most of my migraines are stress related. So yeah, that's what's going on. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. All right. We're all just chit-chatting for a minute or two, a few minutes before we get going. If we were in person, we'd be doing the same thing, right? If we were together for book club or dinner or something, we'd be, everybody would be chatting, and then we would get down to business. So that's what I like to do here before we start. Joanne is Epsom soaking in the bath before bed while watching. Long day. That sounds like a lovely evening. I hope you enjoy that. All right, friends. Let's see. There we go. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. That's what I thought. Halifax, right? Halifax and north of Halifax. I've taught north of Halifax. And then when you said that, I'm like, Atlantic. Yes, you are way northeast, aren't you? Well, I'm glad you joined us tonight. Thank you. All right. I know I've missed a bunch of things. Yeah, scrapbook system, pop-up ads are new. I'll do a little bit of research and see if I can get rid of that. Mimi was in Hawaii, so she missed the last two of the listings. Well, Mimi, you're excused. That sounds like a great reason, right? Great reason. Linda's never seen a pop-up with a survey for a lip color ad. Yeah. Annoying. Apologies. I'm not trying to make money off of you guys during the chat. Please know that. Oh, yeah, it's a that I want to be a part of, right? Diane, thanks for the reminder. Thumbs up if you were here watching live or you're watching the replay. Just take a second and thumbs up. That's super helpful. I appreciate it. All right, Kelly said she's heading our way next month. She and her hubby are going to Yellowstone. So you're driving through Salt Lake on your way up? That sounds amazing. If you haven't been to Yellowstone before, oh, amazing. Get ready to take lots of photos. Amazing. Sarah said hello from Lily and Sarah in California. Hello, Sarah and Lily. It's interesting. Some of you have ads and some of you don't. So I'm just curious. Those of you don't, do you have like YouTube, like where you pay for YouTube? That would be one of those things. You know, streaming services, if you don't pay, if you pay like less amount, the ads in between the, you know, like where the commercials would be. So that may be something. I don't know. I don't have that. But even if I did have it, it would not stop ads from coming because that's on your end. So if I did have it, or if I didn't have it, I would for sure upgrade to it so we wouldn't see ads. But apologies. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, bizarre. And you don't pay either. YouTube, Carrie has YouTube Premium, so she doesn't ever get ads. Carol doesn't get ads and doesn't have YouTube Premium. So no rhyme or reason. I'll try to figure it out. Okay, friends. Oh, maybe interesting. Maybe we're seeing a pattern. It sounds like several of you that are not seeing the ads during the chat are Canadian. So maybe there's something that doesn't let ads in if you are Canadian. I like that. No ads here, and Zen Girls YouTube Red for music. All right, who knows, right? Who knows? Shelly, thank you. Where's my top from? It is an oldie from the loft. Oldie, but it fits again. So might as well pull it out of the closet, right? Thank you. Okay, friends. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about a couple of housekeeping items. We are not listing together again until Saturday, September 27th. All right, that is why we just did one on Saturday and we're doing another one tonight. I am out of town this coming weekend for a wedding. The following weekend, I am out of town teaching at the Ready, Set, Create event in Burbank, California. So out of town the next 2 weekends. We are listing on September 27th, excuse me. Saturday, September 27th, we're listing. The time has changed. It will be 2 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. actually. It'll be 2 p.m. Pacific time instead of 9 a.m. Pacific time. You know what? Listing schedule's on the blog. There is a link to the listing schedule in the description box of the video. Just want to alert you to when we're not listing this month because I'm traveling. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., I don't remember which one because I've got to do the subtraction in my head for Mountain Time, Pacific Time, so I don't remember which one I set it for. Just subscribe and turn on notifications and you'll be good. Because we have to do afternoon session that day because Vicky Booten is coming to visit and she doesn't leave until Saturday morning and I won't have enough time to get her to the airport and come back for us to list. So we're going to do Saturday afternoon. All right. That is the first, that's the first little housekeeping item we need to check off our list. The second one, as I mentioned, September 15th. So a week from yesterday is the bi-monthly stamp and die release. So new stamps and dies, you'll see those come out that morning, the morning of the 15th on my website at whalebamail.com. That evening, Monday the 15th, I will be doing a live here on my YouTube, doing a full flip through of all the foundation pages in my 2025 December documented mini book project kit for this year. And we will also take an up close look at the contents of the kit. And then those start shipping on the 22nd. Tomorrow, Wednesday the 10th, I will be here on my YouTube channel and we will be doing a What's New Wednesday. It has been forever and a day since we've done a What's New Wednesday. So we'll be looking at the fall holiday season pass and looking at a couple of other new things on the website as well. All right, so that's kind of what's happening in the next for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however many weeks through September. All right, that's the plan. Hello, randomly Rhonda. So fun. So Wanda, Vicky will not be joining me that afternoon. I will be taking her to the airport that morning. So no, she won't be joining me that afternoon. Mimi, she should leave Sunday so you can do a listing session together. I know, wouldn't that be fun? We did one of those a long time ago. Not during the pandemic, right after the pandemic. We had a lot of fun doing that. If you haven't seen that, that is a hoot and a half here on my YouTube channel. All right, friends, so let's do this. Let's flip the camera. I need to turn off the lights, move the lights very quickly, and then we will get down to playing, okay? All right. All right, all right, all right. There we go. And let's do our little rotation here. Like that. It's hard, I know. So when she comes, sorry, I know I'm right next to the camera. That's really loud. Probably just blew your eardrums. Apologies for that. It's hard when she's here. I mean, it's wonderful when she's here, but there's always so much that we want to do and see and sightsee while she's here that sometimes it gets hard to try to squeeze something like that in. So we'll see. We shall see. Thank you for the reminder to plug in Jolene, because, you know, it's nighttime. I would have forgotten that, I'm sure. Hello, Debbie. Yes, migraine gone. Thank you. Thank you. Heather, tough hill to climb. I've missed something. Heather, what did I miss? It's sometimes hard. I miss things in the chat. So if you want to recap, I would be more than happy to take a look at what it is, because now I'm curious. Heather Clipper is late to the party, but she is ready to list. All right. Deborah, hoot and half. That's funny. I guess I say hoot and half. All right, friends. So when we were together last, which was just a couple days ago on Saturday, we did 3 lists. So let's take a look at those 3 lists that we did when we were together. First list that we did is a list that we have been doing on a monthly basis, going all the way back to August of 2020. So 5 years. 5 years on a monthly basis, which means I have 60 of these lists. This list I call About Last Month, and it is a way that I figured out 5 years ago to stay caught up on my memory keeping. So basically what I do at the start of a new month, I make a list of some of the things that happened in my life that prior month. I add photos, I add some little stickers, washi, whatever. I do a little bit of decorating, and then I call it good. So if you ask me what happened in my life during June of 2021, I would not be able to remember that for all the money in the world. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But if I pulled out my traveler's notebook from 2021 that had June, July, and August in it, let's say, I could flip right to it and I could tell you exactly what happened during that month with photos. So this has been a very fun thing that we've been doing for 5 years. Every year I switch a little bit up in that I do a brand new stamp set every year. And I do a project kit every year called Year in Review. A lot of you have done that project kit with me. But one of our Saturdays, first Saturday of every month, I take different product and we kind of sit down and just do our About Last Month list. Some people call it month in review. Some people say about this month. If you're doing it at the end of every month, you know, whatever. I think the point is to just do it. The way that I make it really easy on myself is that kind of the format hasn't really changed. It's always a 2-page spread. I'm always doing a list over here. I'm always doing some kind of photo, something or other over here, which makes it really approachable, makes it easy. And if it's approachable and easy, that means I can get it done, right? Because sometimes we struggle getting things done and then they pile up and then we feel guilty because we feel like we're behind. So with this one, last month, August, Nick and I took a bucket list trip to South Africa celebrating our 30th anniversary. So that's what this list was all about. We did a little bit of shadow stamping. So if you can see, do you see that little shadow that is behind About Last Month? Super easy. I just stamped in a really light gray ink and then kind of moved my stamp a little bit, re-inked, cleaned in between, re-inked, and then did that with a different color. So have fun stamping. This guy over here, I incorporated a technique that I had taught in this year's Year in Review Traveler's Notebook Project Kit, that class. This is a technique that I've been doing for quite a few years in my mini books, but thought it might be fun to start incorporating some of these things into Traveler's Notebooks as well. A month like this, where I had a lot of photos. There was a lot going on when we were on safari in South Africa. So doing this little technique, I call these French doors, right? French doors allows me to have photos that I'd have here, and then my little doors open up, and then I can add more photos. So I'm not quite done with this one yet. Kind of have a hero shot there, another photo here, and then I will do more photos here. So when all is said and done, that will give me 8, 16, 17, 18 photos on one page, which is, you know, pretty good, right? So I use tip-in tape to do that. And if you want to see kind of what I did, how that worked, you can watch that. You can go find the video from Saturday, and Saturday was the 6th. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to say who our winner was of the after party giveaway. Always do giveaways when we're together. Some giveaways are live, and I will do some live giveaways tonight. And then I always do at least one giveaway that's an after party giveaway. We'll talk about the after party giveaway a little bit later on. But I did want to mention who won that. Laura Cahill 4547 won that. I responded to her comment. That's how you participate. You leave a comment on the video when it's done for the after party prizes. And I just picked one random person, and she was a random person. So Laura wins the summer fall season pass that I used. Well, not the one that I used, but I used in one of our lists on Saturday. All right, so that is about last month. Second list that we did is, over here. Laura, there you are. Hello, Laura. Yeah, so Laura, you should have an email from me letting you know, just email me so we can get your prize out to you next week. Second list, things I'm looking forward to this fall. This is one of those lists that when people say to me, Lael, I want to get started creative listing, and I really have no idea where to start. I have a handful of lists that I suggest that are great places to start, and this is one of them. Things you're looking forward to. This type of list we usually do 5 or 6 times a year. Things I'm looking forward to this year. Things I'm looking forward to this winter, spring, summer, fall. Things I'm looking forward to this Christmas. Now, you could go beyond that if you want. It could be things I'm looking forward to this month, this week, things I'm looking forward to today, tomorrow. You be the author of your own story. You do you. But this is a super easy one to start with because you can just start, right? What are some things you're looking forward to right now? Sometimes this list, you might come back and say to me, Lael, I can't do this list because I'm not looking forward to anything. And then I'd say, oh, friend, are you okay? And I'd give you a big hug. But then we'd really talk, and I'd be like, okay, come on. Let's talk about things that you could look forward to. Because I know sometimes life gets really heavy, and it seems like it's really hard to dig deep and find anything you can look forward to. But that's where I start pulling things out of you. Do you love soups and stews? Do you love sitting by the fire? Do you love pumpkin spice lattes? Do you love the shorter days? So I really kind of would work with you, and we'd say, okay, what can you look forward to? Do you like to watch TV? Do you like to read books? Is your favorite author coming out with a new book? Do you love squashes that are, only really good and fresh during the fall? So things I'm looking forward to this fall, and I just made a list of what things I'm looking forward to this fall. This is kind of a fun one to look back on too. Especially, maybe come, dead of fall when it starts getting really cold and you're like, oh gosh, what was I looking forward to this time of year again? For this particular list, I used new on my website, a collection from Kelly Bangs with Spellbinders. This is called Autumn Archives. So super fun fall collection. I love the mint in here. So I pulled out a little bit of mint, and I will be also using this collection today on one of our lists. If you missed, as I was using that last Saturday, this is also another collection I will be showing tomorrow night on What's New Wednesday. Belinda, thanks. Very cute. Yeah, it was cute. Lots of fun. Thank you. Marsha said she's looking forward to her son's wedding next month. Oh, that's great, right? Like, great. Karen is looking forward to snow in the winter, but that can be in May or September here in Colorado. Yes, Karen, I'm with you here in Utah. I mean, you could say you're looking forward to snow pretty much any month of the year because you never know what's going to happen because it happens, right? Let's see. Oh, Heather, I thought maybe that's what you were saying. You just the new job. You're finally hitting your stride. I'm very glad that you're hitting your stride. That's awesome. That sounds very positive. Heather is looking forward to anything less than 90 degrees. That's funny. I like it. All right. So that was the second one. Hello, Christine Davidson. Christine said, I'm at work, so I don't have volume. Just wanted to say hello. Now, I only know one Christine Davidson, so I'm assuming this is the Christine Davidson that is on my design team. Christine is a newer addition. She is focusing on 12 by 12 layouts, scrapbook layouts with season pass. So if you are a 12 by 12 scrapbooker, even if you're not a 12 by 12 scrapbooker, there are some amazing things that I've seen in 2 of her layouts so far that are great ideas for whatever kind of, format you're working in, whether it's a scrapbook or a mini book or a traveler's notebook, even cards. So welcome, Christine. Fun to see you here. Hello, Maritza. All right. So that was our second list. Our third list is here. Favorite fall memories. So this one, we used products from the summer fall season pass. We talked about season pass a little bit on Saturday. If you're like, season pass, what is season pass? Join me tomorrow night here on YouTube at 6:30 Pacific time because I'll be going through a deep dive into the brand new fall holiday season pass. Anyhow, so I used products from kind of September. You get a little snippet of 3 seasons or 3 months in each season pass. But this one, favorite fall memories. So I had 4. Doesn't mean I don't have more than 4 fall memories, but this is a little bit of a different list in that it is not either a run-on list like this, right? Run-on list. And it is also not that's also a run-on list. It is not like a bulleted or a numbered list. So I wrote a little bit more about the things on my list there. We had some fun playing with the stamps that are part of Season Pass. We used kind of little leafy clusters and stamped them in 2 different colors. So we kind of have these little leaves going on. I drew some boxes, added some fun die cuts and paper from that summer fall season pass. We actually did 4 lists. We finished up a list that we had started the week prior that we didn't get finished. So I want to show you because I worked on it a little bit more. This one that we worked on is called What a Day. What a Day is a list where we basically pick a day in a month and we just make a list of what happened that day. So this is what I mean by a bulleted list or maybe a numbered list, right? I did little bullets, little stars, and then just wrote basically whatever I did that day. This is a time capsule type of list because it is very specific to a particular point in your life, right? So what I did in a day on August 22nd in 2025, probably very different than what I did on a day when I was a new mom or I was just starting out in my career. These are the fun types of lists that I really wish that my mom had been doing or my grandma had been doing. How cool would it be to go back and kind of see how things change from generation to generation? So I did a little bit of junk journaling here. Cut up different designs or different icons, different objects from this guy, this Even More Extraordinary Things to Cut Out collage. So just had kind of some fun junk journaling. And I had done that when we were together a couple of weeks ago. Did my list on Saturday. When I initially did this list, I'm like, oh, you guys, I wish I had done something really different. This was just lined notebook paper when I did it. And I had put my stars, my bullets, and everything to the right of that little, margin like you see on light 9 notebook paper. And it looked really funny because there was all this blank space over here in the margin. Those 2 things were there, but I had all this blank space. I'm like, oh, you guys, I'm going to need to fix that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to need to fix it. I thought I might go cut some more things out and kind of make them go up here. And at the very last minute when we were together, I'm like, I know what I need to do. I am going to stencil something and probably some of you like felt like you were rolling over in your grave. You're like, wait a minute, what did she say? Did she say she was going to stencil something? You mean like mixed media? I did it. So easy. I pulled out a star stencil. I pulled out my little foam blending tool, used that same twisted citron ink, and just added a bunch more stars. Freaking easiest thing I've ever done. And really, that is what I needed. That is what it needed to kind of just help pull it all together. So very much a different style list than I normally do, this junk journal style. But I do junk journaling in my traveler's notebooks all the time. So just kind of mixing a little bit of junk journaling in with my regular listing, because this to me is, well, everything we do is super fun, but this is just kind of really freeing. It's very freeing, and you just kind of cut fun things out, and there's a little kind of double meaning behind some of them. I had jet lag, so my sleeping was very messed up, and so I put that little bed in there, and that's not me, but it could be, I guess, right? Me sitting on the bed and chatting, and anyhow. So lots of fun with that one. All right. Our first list for today is another, I know, Lael stenciled. Heather said she was so proud. I was so proud of me too, because you know, I am not a mixed media person at all. Mixed media and I usually don't get along because I'm a little bit of a control freak, but sometimes, I don't know, it's very freeing. I'm like, literally as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at me go. It was very fun. All right. So our first list that we're going to start with today is called Glimmers. Glimmers is something I introduced in December of 2024. So I don't know, I guess 9 months ago. I was traveling with my closest friend. We were sorority sisters. She was she was one of the bridesmaids in my wedding. No, she was my maid of honor. She was my maid of honor. Oh my goodness. Anyhow, my friend Sherry, we were traveling together in December, and we were chatting one day, and she said, hey, have you heard of this concept called glimmers? And I'm like, glimmers? I've never heard of that. And she told me what it was. So basically, a glimmer is something that pops into your day that sparks a little bit of joy, right? Something can be super simple, super ordinary, like you see a butterfly, or you're at the grocery store and someone smiles at you, or you're walking through the mall and someone says, hey, I really like your shirt, right? Just a little spark of joy. This is, I will read this to you. I pull this out every time. Glimmers are those micro moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. This part I think is really key. Once you train your brain to be on the lookout for glimmers, the more these tiny moments will begin to appear. All right. So I have taken it upon myself since December to really start looking for glimmers, because I don't know about you, but I have never said, hey, you know what? That little spark of joy that just crossed my path today, I don't need that. I have plenty of sparks of joy in my day. I don't need any more. I think most of us could maybe use a little spark of joy or two. So I have found the more I kind of look for those, the more aware I am of that concept, the more I see them and recognize them. And I don't know, give me all the joy. I need all the joy, right? We all need all the joy. So it's a practice that I have kind of put into play for myself that I have really enjoyed. And it's something that we do here every month. We do a glimmers list. The best part about it is we're all different, right? If you've been with me for a while, you know I am fond of saying you do you. So maybe a butterfly, flying in front of me is a glimmer for me. Maybe you have a phobia of butterflies. You don't like bugs that fly with wings on them. So that may not be a glimmer for you. And that's okay, right? We're all different. You do you. You make your own list. You get to decide what is a glimmer for you and what is not, right? You guys are sweet. Thank you. You're saying I'm a glimmer. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys are always glimmers for me because you're always so kind here. I mean, I could sit here and make a list of all the glimmers that you guys give me when we're together. So right back at you. Maritza says she's watching from Las Vegas and wondering if there's anyone here that lives in Vegas. Maritza. I know there are people from Vegas that watch. I just don't know if they're here tonight. All right, so let me just show you. If you're not familiar with that kind of what we've been doing glimmer-wise, let me let me just show you a few glimmers that we have done. Let's see. This guy is a July. These are glimmers from the month of July. Nick and I were camping in our RV outside of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And so these glimmers, my glimmer list for July happens to be about glimmers that I saw on that trip. I think that's probably all that we're going to find in, oh, here's another one. These were glimmers. I've done a lot of traveling this summer, friends. This was a glimmer, or this list was a glimmer from Nick and I were in Hawaii. Now, that was a business trip for Nick. And of course I had to tag along, right? He's on business. I need to give him emotional support on his business trip, right? Don't you think? So I went with him. Anyhow, so glimmers specific to this particular trip. Now, a lot of times my glimmers aren't related to travel, but I've been doing a lot of travel lately. So most often it's just I pick a month, and it might be last March, and everyday things that happen, that I'm documenting. But it just so happens this month again, I am doing some glimmers from our trip that we had in South Africa, because there were some amazing moments that whole trip was a glimmer. That whole freaking trip was a glimmer. I want to show you something. Let me just go grab it. I think I left it in the other room. So I will be right back. It will take me 2 shakes to go grab it from the other room. I thought I brought it in here though. That's weird. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi, Rich. All right. There were quite a few. I mean, that trip was jam-packed. There were so many things that we saw every day. Nick's in the house. Actually, Nick is not in the house. Nick's either in the car or Nick is on the golf course. Hello, honey. Hello. He likes you guys. He likes to pop in and say hi. Let's see. Okay. Karen, I was just reading your comment. That's funny. She leaves right when I chime in. Well, I know. It's like we timed that, Nick. Of course we didn't. But you were filling in for me while I had to go to the other room. So there were a lot of things that happened on that trip. We saw a lot. And when I was sitting down to make my glimmers list, I'm like, oh gosh, that happened. We left a month ago. We were gone for 2 weeks. So what were all those things again? And it was really easy for me to remember them because I did this on our trip, right? I prepped my traveler's notebook before we left. And every day I sat down and just wrote about what happened that day. And this was the part that I referenced for my glimmers. Top 3. Every day I did the top 3 of the day. Now we stopped in Paris first. That's why it says Paris. But so every day that we were gone, all I did when I'm looking at my glimmers list, I just came back and looked at my top 3 and I'm like, oh yeah, that was one. Oh yeah, that was one for my glimmers list. All right, so that made it really easy for me to remember. And that's the whole reason why I do these things when I travel, is so that when I am ready to sit down and document, it's there. I don't have to rack my brain. All right, so what I've done the last couple of times is I've done a full-size photo. I don't know. I just love the look of a full-size photo every so often in my traveler's notebook. So I'm doing that same thing today. I have already printed a full-size photo. This photo is traveler's notebook size. So traveler's notebooks that I use are standard wide. They are 5 inches wide by 8.25 inches tall. So I printed this at home. I used Photoshop to size this. So it's something that you can do if you know Photoshop or you know a photo editing software where you can resize something, crop it and resize it. And then if you can print it out, then you can do that. If not, Persnickety Prints does print traveler's notebook size photos. I worked with them, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't work for them. I worked with Shari. I worked with Shari on 2 different traveler's notebook sizes, size prints for your photos. So there's a regular traveler's notebook size, which is a standard 8.25 by 4.33, and then a standard wide size, which is 5 by 8.25. But if you like the look of a full-size photo, and you don't necessarily have the ability to do that, you could take 2, maybe 4 by 6 photos and trim them down and put them here and fill up the whole page, right? All right, so I printed this out. That's 5 by 8.25, and it is, I'm just going to trim it down just a tad. We do lose a few millimeters from the stapling in the center of the insert. So let me just trim this down just a titch, and we'll be ready. Carrie said, does the Epson PM400 print that size? So that is a really good question, Carrie. Yes, it does, kind of. Kind of. What I mean by that is it prints the width, right? It prints a 5 by 7. And because it prints a 5 by 7, there's really nothing preventing you from putting a taller 5-inch wide piece into the printer. You just have to be sending the photo that is taller. I have shared this a number of times, but some of you are familiar with a designer in the industry, Kathy Zielske, Zielske. She has a video here on her YouTube channel of how to print that size using Epson PictureMate PM400 printer. But you do need to know how to get your photo to that size. And she walks through how to do that in Photoshop or Photoshop Elements. So if you have the skills to get your photo to that size, you can absolutely print it through the Epson PictureMate PM400, because that's how I did this one. All right, it's a pretty nifty trick. Pretty nifty trick. All right. I'm confused. We're looking at math there, so I'm missing that. I'll miss it. It's okay. All right, so here we go. I'm going to round the far left corners. I use Traveler's Notebook inserts. My Layout by Mail Traveler's Notebook inserts have rounded corners. And so I generally, whatever I'm putting over here, I like to round the corners, just so those little corners are not sticking off the edge. All right, so that is a photo that I took from our patio, one of the safaris that we were on. That is, well, you can see what that is. That is a mama and a baby elephant, and that's not photoshopped. That's exactly what it looked like. I sharpened up the picture a little bit, and literally our patio was right here. So it was amazing. It's like we were in our very own little zoo, although it's not a zoo. You're in just the open, it's safari. It's an open game reserve, or private, but. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to swap out my regular tape runner to adhere this. So I'm not going to use my regular tape runner that I normally use. Oh, there you go. The size of a couple millimeters. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I totally missed that. All right. So I've swapped out my regular tape runner for score tape. Score tape, really strong double-sided tape. And I am going to put that along that straight edge, because that is going to go right here. If I have, usually when I get, I don't know, a little ways into a new insert, I start doing this along that left-hand page, because sometimes whatever I'm putting there, gravity wants to take effect. And that doesn't want to necessarily stay down right there. So I put a little bit of a stronger adhesive along that edge that's going into the center. It gets really, it gets very pronounced as you get towards the end of your insert. All right, so there we go. And that will stay nice and flat. So what I mean when it gets more pronounced. So like when we get all the way here, this paper is going to have a heck of a time staying adhered right there, because there's so much, gravity wants to just pop it up, right? Pop that edge up. So I just put a little bit of a stronger adhesive along that left edge. All right, so here we go. Here is the start. I have pulled out a couple of rub-ons. I have really, well, a package of rub-ons. I have really enjoyed the last couple of times when I am doing a full photo, adding rub-ons to my photo. What I mean by that is, let's go back to that Hawaii one because this will look a little bit similar. These are rub-ons. If you've ever looked at someone's photo and seen like really cool text effect on their photo and thought, holy cow, I wish I had Photoshop. I wish I had mad Photoshop skills so I knew how to do that and then print my photo out with that on there. You don't have to know how to do that. That's a rub-on. So printed out the photo and then added a rub-on on top, which is, I think, is a kind of a really fun thing to do. So the rub-ons that I used there are on this guy. Let me just pull out these other two, just so you can see. There is not a set of 4, but there are 4. They're seasonal from 49 to Market. Spring stories, summer stories, fall stories, and winter stories. So what I really love about these rub-ons, I love kind of that text effect of adding it on top of a photo. So that's how I'm going to start. I will also be using in a second list some more of these rub-ons. Like I said, I'm trying tonight to simplify things a little bit so we're not here until all hours of the night or morning. All right, so if you have never used rub-ons or if you haven't used rub-ons in a long time, first I have to tell you, way back in the day, rub-ons existed, and this is like not your father's Oldsmobile. You know what I mean? The rub-ons are so much better these days than they were 20 years ago. The rub-ons that Simple Stories does, the rub-ons that 49 and Market does, are like butter. They work so well. They're so easy to adhere. If you kind of think about like Cracker Jacks when we were a little kid, or I think Cracker Jacks probably still have tattoos in them. You would have a little tattoo and you would put it on your hand. With a tattoo, you'd put water on there or lick it sometimes, right? And it would transfer the design on the paper onto your hand. So rub-ons work similarly, but no water, right? You have your design and you are going to use pressure instead of water to transfer the design from the paper onto your project. So first thing I do when I open up a new package of rub-ons, where is does this have staples in it? No. You know, this is funny. I have 1, 2, here we go. Let's use the tiny attacher. I have 3 staplers in here that are out of staples. Okay. First thing I do. Hello, Christy Amber. Yes, she said, she's been around the block for a while like I have. She said the old, and you know what I mean when I say around the block, not like that, kicking around. Been kicking around in the industry for a while like I have. The old Heidi Swap rub-ons with Making Memories, yeah, those after a while got super brittle, right? All right, so this is what we're gonna do. When I first take them out of the package, you have your rub-on sheet, your sheet with the design, the transfer sheet, and below that, you have a little kind of protective sheet. This little protective sheet's really important. It is going to prevent your rub-on from transferring onto something that you don't want it to rub onto, right? So I like to keep those together. When I open up a package, I staple the rub-on or transfer sheet to its little protective backer like that, right? So that should help to significantly reduce the possibility of a rub-on transferring somewhere where I don't want it to. That's the first thing. Staple them together. Next thing, I want to use part of this rub-on. Okay, so it says glorious days, glorious days, glorious days, glorious days, until it gets to glorious fall days. So I can use glorious days. Now, this wasn't in the fall. Really, fall has nothing to do with this. Fall hadn't hit yet. It was in August. So I thought this could still be fun. I could still use glorious days. So I'm going to cut off part of this rub-on, not the whole thing, just part of it. When I go to use a rub-on, even if I was using that whole thing, for me personally, I would never keep it attached to the sheet. I would never try to do this and then rub it on. I always cut it away from the sheet. I just think for me, makes it a lot easier. Again, we're reducing the possibility of accidentally rubbing that onto something we don't want it to go onto. So I'm cutting away until I get to the part that says glorious fall days. So glorious, 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 glorious days. And there is nothing that says you have to use the rub-on like it's intended, right? I think that was all intended to be used together. I don't have to use it together. I can just get out my scissors and cut that up. And now it works really for anything I want it to. Any glorious days. All right, so let's set these off to the side. Next up, I want to add this right here to my photo. And there's one other thing I want to add. This little guy. It's a family gathering. Now this I think is probably meant for Thanksgiving, but it's a family gathering. This actually has a double meaning for me. It's a family gathering. Well, there's mom and baby, so it's a family gathering. But also, this trip was a little bit of a family gathering. My mom and her best friend went with us, so it kind of has a little bit of a double meaning to it's a family gathering. So I'm going to pull that guy out too. Let me look and see where I thought I wanted that to go. Did I want it to go above or below? I think we'll see. Let's do this guy first. All right, so now I'm ready to use this. I am peeling back that little protective sheet. I don't need that anymore, right? And now I have my rub-on. It's really important. You don't want to stick this somewhere you do not want it to stick to, right? So if I go, oh, hold on, I forgot something, and I stick it down there, rub-ons work with pressure. Some of them are a little bit sticky. So chances are if I put that down and go in the other room, I'm going to come back and part of that is going to be adhered up here and I don't want that to happen. So just want to kind of hold on to that until I'm really ready to use it. You can apply your rub-on with lots of different things. With a popsicle stick, the 49er Market rub-ons used to come with a little stick like this. They don't anymore. I'm not sure why. You could use a bone folder, a popsicle stick, something like that, and you're just going to rub the top of that rub-on so it transfers from the sheet onto your thing. What I like to use is this guy. I call this a rub-on tool. It is not really a rub-on tool. This is it is an embossing tool. It is meant to take like a leaf shape and you can kind of go like this and it will kind of make the leaf curl a little bit. This works really well as an embossing tool. These just sold out today on my website, but I have loads more coming in. So that's what I use this guy for. I am going to take my rub-on and I'm going to set it down. To me, the most important part about doing a rub-on is you want to channel your anti-inner Elsa. Your anti-inner Elsa. So you know Elsa, right? Elsa from Frozen. And she says, let go, what all of that. She sings that song forever, let it go. We do not want to let it go. You don't want to let this go. So everything I'm doing, I'm always going to be holding on to that. The reason why I don't want to let go is because if that rub-on moves, if I have started rubbing on and my rub-on moves a little bit, there will be a skip in my rub-on. So let's say this S, I'm doing this, my rub-on moves, and then I continue, I'll have a little break in my S. So some rub-ons, it might be more obvious than others. It's easy to prevent, just don't let go. So you'll notice I'm holding here. So I'm holding on the left while I'm going to rub that on the right. Okay. Just running that over that rub-on. And then I'm like, okay, I think that's pretty good. I need to get over here, right? But what did we say? We don't want to let go. So we're going to do this. I'm going to rotate it like this just because it's easier for me to get at it with my right hand. And I was still holding on, right? I was holding on, and then before I let go with this finger, I'm still holding on, right? And over here, I'm going to continue to get that all rubbed on, right? My finger was still holding it in place, so it should be pretty good. All right, now I think I'm good, right? What I don't want to do, I don't want to just grab it and assume everything transferred right away the first time. Because if there's any part of that that didn't transfer and I just lifted it up, well, good luck trying to get it placed in the exact spot to get the rest of it transferred. So still holding on, grab my little tweezers here, and I'm going to start to lift up that transfer sheet. And I'm going to lift that slowly. As I lift that, if there was any part of that rub-on that didn't transfer, I would see it here on the transfer sheet. And I'm not seeing that, right? So I feel pretty confident. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. There we go. Give it a once, kind of quick little, better not say that. A quick little, I'm going to press on that again. And there we go. So now it looks like I have mad Photoshop skills, and it looks like I brought this photo up in Photoshop and I printed that really kind of cool, fun, different text, or put that on the photo and then printed it out, right? But we don't have to have all those skills or fancy software. We can just use a rub-on for that. All right, so let's look at this guy, family gathering. Let's see if we think this will still be cute. Family gathering, so that would go right here. Or, it's a family gathering. It's a family gathering. So I actually think, I don't know if I want it right here. I think it might be kind of fun to do that right here. So let's do it there. All right. Again, I am pressing. Now, I am like belaboring this. I'm really taking the time to explain this so you understand. But literally, this takes you seconds to do, right? Doesn't take long. I just want to go over it because I think it's important, especially if a rub-on is new to you, that you understand how they work and you also understand some tips to help you use them. Oh yeah. Come on. Come on there. I printed on matte photos, so I'm kind of scratching that a little bit, which I don't want to do, but that's all right. All right, there we go. It's a family gathering. Okay, so that is left side done. Now I'm ready for my list. Let's take a look from the chat in a sec. Hello, Gina W. from Arkansas. Nice to see you. Carrie's time to take the dogs for a walk. We'll pick up in 48 minutes. Carrie must have a set route that she goes if she knows she's going to be back in 48 minutes. I love that. Wanda uses her bone folder. Yeah, absolutely. You can use a bone folder, popsicle stick. You can use whatever you have, for sure, for sure. Hello, Mary J. Blige. Nice to see you. All right. So that is my left side, right side. I am going to need to move this because we'll use this again in a bit on our next list. Move that out of the way. Let's get these that I showed you put back just so things stay a little less cluttered here. All right, let's take a look and see what the rest of my plan is. So I am using my Listing with Lael workbook. I don't know, I've been using this 3.5, 4 years maybe. Prior to coming up with this workbook, I was basically reinventing the wheel, doing all of this, drawing it all out every time we were listing. And I started to get smart and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I'll make my own book. And then started using it. And then people were like, well, we'd like a book like that too. So this is what I use to always plan out our listing sessions. My book is a little bit different than yours because you don't need to know winners and things like that, but pretty much same thing. So when I sit down to plan our listing sessions, I list our list topics, and then I list the products that I want to use, and then I list the items on my list, the things that are going on my list. And then sometimes I draw a little sketch. So you guys didn't know this, but I am a very talented artist. See my elephants? Aren't they just so like advanced? Yeah, I'm not that kind of artist. But visually, if I kind of have a sketch in my mind of what I want to do, it makes it a lot easier when we sit down to work. All right, so I am going to use the Glimmers stamp set. I am going to use the Glimmers 2 stamp set. As I was pulling out stamps, this one I have just on my desktop when we're working. I just have a little basket of stamps that I'm planning on using, and sometimes I don't clean them out every time. So as I was adding stamps, the Glimmers for this session, I saw this guy. This is documenting the details. You don't have to have any kind of specific stamps to do what we do, right? I say that you need 2 things. You need something to write with and something to write on. Everything else is just fun. Everything else is just icing, right? So if you don't want to have specific glimmer stamps, you could have a stamp set like this. Bits and pieces of joy. This made me smile. Wait, what does that say? This made me smile. Documenting the details. A story worth telling. Random treasures of the week. So you can go specific when it comes to product, or you can try to stay a little bit more generic with something that you might be able to use in a lot of different things. All right? Okay. So I am using Glimmers and Glimmers 2. When do I think, Mary J, when do I think I will get Vicky's new collection? So Vicky's new collection, Curiosities, I think it's called Curiosities in Willow Grove with 49 to Market. It will be released to the public. It will be released to retailers on the 11th, September 11th. So that is on, oh my gosh, I'm looking at the wrong calendar. Today is the 9th. So that will be Thursday. It will release on Thursday, September 11th, 2025. That's when I'll be able to order it. So as soon as I get it ordered, we'll get it up on the website as soon as we can. And then typically when 49 Market releases their products, that's when they are shipping. So hopefully end of next week. So maybe, let's just say hopefully by the 22nd, maybe of September. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. If you are a Vicky B fan, you will be so excited. And if you're not a Vicky B fan, well, you will be once you see it. All right. So glimmer stamp set. I am going to use this for my title. This is the stamp set that I released in January of 2025. This is what we first started with, just glimmers and then lots of fun little word strips that you can use and then a couple of little glimmer icons. Then we released Glimmers 2. So Glimmers 2 is a little bit, has a little bit more kind of word art, kind of some fun things to use. So I'll be using glimmers for my title. Let me get a stamping block out. Let's see here. Let's get one of these guys. We'll need that. I'll talk about that in a second. Where is the stamping block that I am looking for? They're always clear. Well, always. They're clear. So sometimes, wait, I was doing some design work last night, maybe over here on the other side of the room. Where's my 1x5? All right. Let's do this. Let me grab my travel stamping things and let's see if I've got one in there. I should have one in there, hopefully. I mean, oh yeah, I do. Okay, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know what I did with it. Can't blame it on anyone else. No one else comes in this room but me and Reggie the cat. I'm pretty sure he can't stamp. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. All right, so I'm taking my 1x5 stamping block and we will plop that stamp onto my stamping block. I find the easiest way to get your stamp on your stamping block is to put your stamp on your work surface and then pick it up with the block. That way, I find it's much straighter that way because I can put it straight here and then move that if I need, as opposed to trying to place it on my stamping block. You may have noticed here, I just placed that a little bit left of center. The reason I did that is if this is going here, I just need to be aware of what may get in the way of this edge of my stamping block. So if I was too far, I'll really exaggerate this. If I am putting this way over here, then I might have a problem stamping because depending on how high I get over here, this is preventing my stamp from laying flat, all right? So all things that just come with, time with stamping. And, if I had put it in the center or for whatever reason I had put it more to the right and I was kind of doing this, I'd be like, oh, Lael, I moved it too far and I just replace it, right? All right, so, oh, I don't need this. Duh, I'm not stamping on that side. All right, let's pick colors. So we kind of have three main colors going here. We have the blue, the green, and then kind of the straw color, right? Straw color is not really a color, so I won't go with straw color. I don't know, maybe let's look at a blue. Let's see what we have here. These are my Distress Oxides. I have swatched all of my inks. It makes it very easy then to go through all my ink colors pretty quickly to see what you know what? I'm totally changing. I think we're gonna go with Bundled Sage. I just happened to see that because as we start, Speckled Egg isn't it, Salvaged Patina is not it, Tumbled Glass isn't it. So I know in that sky, I am not going to have something that's super close. So I think the Bundled Sage would actually be a little bit of fun because Bundled Sage is a little bit of kind of all of this working in there together, right? So let's do that. Bundled Sage. So having those swatched, so much easier than grabbing all of my inks and then kind of trying to look at them to see what I think might work. I swatched those using my Swatch This Inks stamp set. Now, I could, I could continue with the greens, but, peeled paint, no. Crushed olive, no. I think bundled sage is it. All right, next thing. We want to test this. Always, 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 always test stamp first. That is, in my opinion, everything I tell you is in my opinion. So I'm not the expert. I just do it a lot. And so things I've learned, my opinion. My opinion is you should always test stamp before you stamp in your project, right? There's some things that could be really helpful that I might find out by test stamping first, and I would much rather find those things out in my little scratch notebook here than on my project, right? Number one, do I like the ink color, right? I picked an ink color. Is this what I'm going to like? Sometimes you think it's going to look good, and then you put it down, you're like, ooh, yeah, no, that's not the right one. I don't really like that. So I can test my ink color, make sure I like it. As I'm testing my ink color and stamping an image, another thing I'm testing. I am testing to make sure that that stamp is clean. What if it has a little piece of lint on it, or Reggie hair, cat hair, or a little piece of dirt? Anything that is on that stamp before I ink it is going to prevent the ink from adhering to the stamp. So I might end up with a little blob, a little spot where there's no ink because I had a little fleck of dust or something. So that looks good, right? If I'm spelling a word, that gives me a really good opportunity to make sure that the word is spelled correctly and that all the letters are on my stamping block straight if I'm stamping the entire word together. But all those things were good. Everything looked good. So now I'm going to re-ink that, right? I need to re-ink that because I just, stamped off most of the ink. Not all of it. So there'd be a little bit on there, but I want to re-ink that. I want to get that nice and inked up. As I mentioned, I use Distress Oxides when I stamp. I very much enjoy my Distress Oxides. They are a pigment-based ink. I call them a juicy ink. They have a little bit more, I don't know, they seem to have a little bit more pigment to them. They seem to just, hang on. All right. They seem to just give me a little bit more of a solid impression when I'm stamping, and that is what I like. That's what I prefer. Yes, Reggie missed. Yes, Reggie missed when he always misses me when we're gone. All right, next thing, I stand. I stand the entire time I work, so I stand a lot. When I'm teaching like this or when I'm crafting on my own, just playing, I stand. I didn't need to press down on it that long. I was just talking and not really paying attention. I stand. To me, that's a very important part of stamping. For me, if I'm standing, I get much better leverage than when I'm sitting. And a huge part of stamping is leverage. If you are sitting, these are your little T-Rex arms. You don't have a lot of range of motion when you're sitting. So you're like this. You don't get a lot of leverage. If you're standing, you have way more range of motion and way more leverage. So if you don't normally stand when you stamp, give it a try. Stand when you stamp. If you work at maybe a regular tabletop height and you'd like something higher, I have a higher desk in here that I work on. Go to the kitchen. Kitchen's a higher counter. Go to the bathroom. Generally a higher counter than a desk. Then you give yourself a little bit, you're not bending over so much if you're standing. All right, glimmers. So next up, I would like to, I'm going to write right above there. And I'm going to write, which is my little black pen, my little black Sharpie that I use for everything. But I do need to do this first. I have to do my outlining. That just looks way too blank, like floating off into no man's land. So I outline everything. Have probably for about 20 years. It's just a weird little thing that I do. And I will deal with this side in a minute. So I think I'm going to write this, South African glimmers, right? Because these were glimmers from South Africa. South African glimmers, right? So it just fits right nicely up into that little area. It would also fit nicely if I wanted to. I could say glimmers from South Africa. That space is specifically designed for you to either stamp or write something there. So in the Glimmer stamp set, you have these 3 stamps that can fit. Today I noticed, this week I noticed, this month I noticed. They are all designed to fit right in between the G and that little swoopy on the S. As is these 2 words or phrases from Glimmers 2, enjoying the little things and one little treasure at a time. Those are also designed to fit in that little space. Okay, so Glimmers from South Africa, or South African Glimmers, right? Let's take our little ruler here, and I am just going to do a little underline here. And that will just give us a little bit of visual separation from our title until we start listing, or between the title and the list. I'm actually doing a little double one of those. All right, South African Glimmers. All right, now before I start writing my list of glimmers, I'd like to do a little bit of decorating over here because this is really pretty, lots of stuff going on over here. But over here, not much going on. Let me just check. I think I missed something in the chat. Let's see. Scrappy Lisa said, question, I love your stamps, but nearly fell off my chair when I saw that the postage to Australia was US 64. That is Australia 100 just for the postage. Would you consider making more digital stamps? Scrappy Lisa, I wish it was not that way. I wish I could control postage. I wish I could control a lot of things, but postage is definitely one of them because I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's just, and what you see are the actual rates, either from UPS or USPS. That is really what they charge. So yes, you are right. I do have some digital stamps. We have more ready. I just haven't taken the time to put them up. What I will tell you, what I have done for Carol, and Carol, thanks for chiming in there. Carol is in Canada, same thing, shipping, duties, all of that, very expensive. So I have emailed, Carol reached out and said, hey, do you have more? And I said, I have more ready, they're just not on the website yet. I sent her a list of which ones I have, and then kind of we worked it out that way, and I created an order for her. So if that's something that you want to do, Scrappy Lisa or anyone, shoot me an email, give me a couple days to respond back to you, and then I'll let you know kind of what we have. I just need to get them. They're designed. All the technical work is done. I just have to get them up on the website. All right. Julie said, will you be able to bring any product to Ready, Set, Create? I would love to get some tip and tape. Julie Fallon, you know what? I've sent 24 boxes. They went out on Friday. So yes, and the 24 boxes are my classes too. But yes, there's quite a bit of product. Oh, you know what? There's quite a bit of product that I sent. I did not send any tip and tape. Will you do me a favor, Julie? Will you shoot me an email and say, hey, please bring tip and tape to Ready, Set, Create? I'll throw some in my suitcase. I totally forgot. Okay, so here we go. So kind of plain, I am going to take a few of the Glimmers 2 stamp sets and just kind of scatter them through here. All right, so I store all of my stamps, and when I say all of my stamps, I mean my Lail by Mail stamps and really anyone's stamps in my personal stash that I buy. When I get them, I take them out of the package and I put them into the stamp storage sleeves. So on the website, I have 4 different sizes of stamp storage sleeves. That's easy for me to say. 3x4, 4x6, 5x7, and 6x8. So I store all of my stamps in here. All of my stamps are stored in those. Just makes them nice and consistent. And but you'll notice I also have a little piece of white cardstock in there. I put the white cardstock in with every one of my stamps when I'm doing this for me personally. When you buy a stamp storage sleeve, it just comes like that. Because you have a plastic sleeve and you have plastic on the stamp on the front and back. Well, when they are stored like that, they tend to stick together. And sometimes it's really hard to get that out. So I have my little piece of white cardstock or whatever you put in there in the back. When I'm ready to pull that out, I slide it from the back, put it in the front. That breaks kind of that stickiness between the 2 plastics, and then that pulls right out. Okay, so I am going to use, there were 3 that I wanted to use. I want to use Something About This Moment. Let me just grab this little thing to set them on. All right, Something About This Moment, and I wanted to use the right place at the right time because that every single glimmer from this trip absolutely had something to do with the right place at the right time, 100%. And then the other one that I wanted to use was, Joy in the Ordinary. Those three. All right. So now I am going to, let's see how we want to lay these out. Maybe that goes there. And then maybe the right place at the right time goes down here. Although I don't want it to line straight directly up with that, right? So I kind of just move that. And then maybe we'll move this one down a little bit. And then maybe we'll just do this Joy in the Ordinary. All right? And I don't want them to be like perfectly symmetrical. I want them to be random looking-ish, right? And I think what I will do, I will be writing in black. I don't want to stamp in black. If I stamp in black and then also write in black, it'll be a little bit harder to see those stamps. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use Bundled Sage again. All right, I need a different stamping block. This is another tip. When it comes to stamping and your stamping blocks, I find it is much easier to stamp if you are right sizing your stamp to your stamping block. Deborah, did the boxes arrive? You know what? I haven't tracked them. They should all be there today, all 24. There's a funny little inside joke about that where 1 year, one box didn't arrive, and that was kind of a crazy moment. All right, so I like to right size my stamping blocks to my stamps. I find if my stamping block is similarly sized to my stamp, it's much easier to handle, right? So I, in my personal stash, use an assortment of stamping blocks because I have an assortment of stamps. On the website, I have an assortment of stamping blocks for you to purchase because, again, I feel like I'm a more successful stamper if I'm holding on to this that's about the same size as opposed to holding on to like this big, giant guy. If I only have one stamping block, well, I have to go with the lowest common denominator stamping block for my largest stamp, right? And if I'm trying to maneuver this with this little tiny stamp, it gets a little bit harder to work with. Not impossible, right? You can absolutely do it. I just find if you have the right tool for the job, it just makes your life a little bit easier, right? All right, so we'll just test on this. How about that? I'm going to test this little guy. This says something about this moment. Let's do that. Something about this moment, nice and clean, everything looks good. Let's come over here, and I think we want to do this. Oh, I think we're going to do this guy. I don't remember where that was going, though. Let's just do him right here. How about here? Something about this moment, right? I'm pressing down firmly. I am not rocking my stamping block. If you are rocking your stamping block, you are applying undue pressure on the bottom and the top. So if I'm rocking like this, it tends to flatten out or spread out the polymer, and then it blurs your stamp a little bit. All right, so you shouldn't need to rock. The other thing that testing can help you do ahead of time before you actually stamp on your project is to give you a really good idea of how much pressure you need to apply. Certain stamps may require more pressure than the others, like this one. Glimmers, in my mind, requires more pressure because it is a longer stamp, and it is it needs more pressure, so it is even, right? I want to make sure I get a nice even distribution of ink. Something that's small, maybe like a little word strip sticker, or stamp like one of these, I don't need to press hard at all. If I press too hard, it is going to blur out a lot of those letters. So that's another thing that I can learn while I am test stamping. Do I need to press hard on this one or not? All right, so that will that work? I don't know, let's see if that will work. The right place at the right time. I think it'll be okay. All right, so this little guy here, let's get it nice and inked up. I'll come over here and do my little test stamp. Oopsie, got in the way of that. That was that problem. So we'll just test it again, make sure. Right place at the right time. All right, so this guy is going to come over. Oh yeah, I didn't want it to be there. Let's have it maybe go right here. Okay, there we go. Nice even pressure, no rocking. There we go, the right place at the right time. Clean it right away, just like the dishes in your sink after dinner. Clean them right away. They're much easier to clean right after dinner than if you wait in the morning, right? Same with your stamps. If you wait to clean them until you use them again, sometimes you have to work a little bit harder to get them clean, right? All right, next up, joy in the ordinary. Stamp that guy. Looks good. Re-ink that, and let's have this guy go, I think about right here. So it's random-ish, right? Random-ish. There we go. And now I'm ready for my list after I clean this guy, right? I'm ready now to write my list. I need one more stamp though. Typically when I do a glimmers list like this, I am using well, you know what? I think I might stamp. I'm gonna stamp something else. Before I put that ink away, I feel like I need to stamp a little something else right there. It's just kind of plain. So let's do that. I'm going to grab, let's see, do we want to do one of these, enjoying the little things, one little treasure at a time? How about enjoying the little things? Yep. Enjoying the little things. So let's take this little guy and we'll just tuck it right under there where it's designed to go. Let's see. If you are watching, okay, you guys are answering it. I love that. You're talking about losing the chat if you rotate your phone and someone's like, oh, do this. Love that, because I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't have a clue. All right. Get that nice and inked up. Ooh, randomish. Yeah, randomish is hard. Have you ever tried to do something random, like place things randomly? It's hard. Hard to make them look random, especially if you're doing something like trying to make little enamel dots or sequins or something like that random. Okay, there we go. Now it's just got a little bit more fun to it, right? Okay, next up, we are going to grab our little glimmers bullet. And that is what I will use in between each of the things on my list. So glimmers, whether you list with me or not, and I say that because I know there are a number of you that just come and hang out, which is totally cool, right? I'm happy to have you here. I don't care why. I mean, that didn't sound right. I'm happy to have you here. It does not matter to me whether you are listing with us or not. I just enjoy your company. So happy to have you here. But I'm curious, do you list about glimmers? If you don't list, do you watch for glimmers? Do you make note of glimmers? And if so, I would love to know, like, tell me a glimmer in your world. Tell me a glimmer. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can get everybody that's in the chat, even if you normally never chat. What is a glimmer that happened to you this week? Okay? A glimmer. What's a glimmer that happened to you this week? And you know what? If you are having a hard time coming up with one, maybe that will remind you, maybe you put a glimmer out in someone else's world. Like, a lot of times we think things, but sometimes we don't verbalize them. I would say more often than not, we don't verbalize them to people. So if you're at the grocery store and you see, if you see someone that has a beautiful color of lipstick, just looks really pretty, it's okay to say, hey, you know what? I like your lipstick. Has anybody ever done that? I've been walking through the grocery store. Someone I don't even know will be like, that sweater looks so pretty on you. And you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, what? Who are you talking to me? We're caught so off guard by it, which is kind of sad, right? We shouldn't be caught off guard by someone paying us a compliment. So if you struggle to think of a glimmer, maybe turn it and maybe think about giving glimmers to other people. Glimmer could even be someone else, letting them in front of you, in front of the traffic, or anything like that. Chocolate, Zen Girls, glimmer is chocolate. I love it. Debbie saw a hummingbird. You saw an email from this one guy. Well, that sounds intriguing, Karen. Cindy is trying to look for more than those. I know sometimes it's hard, right? Some days it feels like there is absolutely nothing. There is nothing. You're like, seriously, there is nothing. But it could be hearing your favorite song on the radio. It could be flipping through the channels and your favorite Hallmark Christmas movie is on, right? The one that you know by heart. And really, you know them all by heart because they're all the exact same story, right? Just in a different small town in Vermont. All right. So if you normally don't think about glimmers or look for them, I'd encourage you maybe just to, it's not gonna, it doesn't, not gonna take too much time out of your day. Mimi, I love it. She said she watches for glimmers and has a running list in my notes on my phone this week. Having a mango coconut smoothie by the pool. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, Mimi. That is a pretty good one. Louisa said, I received a couple of texts from friends I haven't heard from recently. Yes. Heather's weekly glimmer, the taste of fresh peaches. Ooh, yummy, 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 yummy. And guess what? Sometimes you giving a glimmer to someone else can get right back in your face, and it's a glimmer for you, right? Because you compliment somebody and they just look so taken aback and like, oh my gosh, thank you. Oh my gosh, wow, thank you so much. That just gave you a glimmer. So, right? Carol said, I say things to people like that all the time. Was telling a sales girl in a store this weekend that I loved her hair. Such a kind thing to do, right? Costs you nothing. And you never know how much that can mean to somebody. Wendy, Scout, my dog, jumped up on the bed and curled up beside me. A glimmer could be for me. Well, I don't ever set the alarm. I wake up very early anyway. But if you set the alarm, maybe a glimmer for you is waking up naturally before the alarm goes off. It's like, oh, I didn't have to get awoken to that horrible blaring noise, right? Let's see. Karen said, I do it every time I can. Love giving compliments because sometimes we need to hear it, right? Marcia said having a fire outside since it's so cool out. Louisa saw 11 hummingbirds on Sunday. I love that. That's amazing. Mimi said, yesterday I told this beautiful girl that I loved her dress. And you know what? It makes us feel good when we compliment somebody, I think. At least it makes me feel good. I told the teacher at check-in that she always looks so cute and put together. She blushed. Right. You know what? If something like that can take us literally 5 seconds to do, a little bit of thought, right? But 5 seconds to do, and we can make someone's day, well, we should do it, right? Okay. Sun rays through the fog, Carla said. Lisa, I just found a picture that a woman that we met in our cruise sent me, and I put it in my traveler's notebook. I totally forgot she sent it to me. I love that. Carol said, glimmer from this week, getting a great cup of coffee with my coworkers and hanging out with them. Julianne, a hilarious snarky text from my bestie. She really makes me snort. Picture of my daughter's engagement ring that oh, Cindy, I love it. Okay. She said, I saw a picture of my daughter's engagement ring that she knows nothing about. What a glimmer. And that was even like a shiny one too, right? Being nice doesn't cost us a thing. And then she said, blah, Hallmark. I look for them. My glimmer this morning was my sister asking my advice on making a pot roast. She can't cook a lick, but she's trying to learn and call me. Oh, I love it. Julie's daughter got engaged hiking in Utah. Congratulations, Julie. Karen, your guy's still in New York. Okay, yeah. So then there was a nice text or nice email. Carla, sunrise this morning on the way to work. You were up early, Carla. All right. So glimmers for my trip. I'll get off my soapbox now, but I really think that we could just I like to just switch glimmers, right? Just glimmers. Louisa said, I thought of another glimmer. I purchased medicine for my husband. The receipt had so many coupons. I got 2 bags of popcorn and a Hallmark card for $3.50, right? I mean, they don't have to be huge things, right? It's not like, oh, my glimmer was I just won that, almost $2 billion lottery. I didn't, right? That would be a glimmer. Don't get me wrong. But look at Louisa. Oh, I had so many coupons. I got 2 bags of popcorn, right? Louisa might not even like popcorn, but it gave her a glimmer. All right, I'm going to use one of these little guys, one of these little glimmer guys. There are a number of different sizes, 1, 2, 3 singles, and then clusters of small, medium, large. So you can kind of continue to decorate if you want, which I think maybe we should do that, right? Maybe we should just add, I don't know, maybe like this guy. Does this guy fit there? I think this guy would fit well right there. We'll flip it so it fits a little bit better right there. We'll just use this guy. It's a little big, but I'll just do it quick. Whoopsie. All right, we'll put this guy right there. And I think maybe, let's just leave those. Let's leave that for now. We might do more, but we'll see. Oh my gosh, here I said, oh, I am going to make things go much faster today. I haven't, right? I like to talk. That's what happens. We're still on our first list. That's okay. The second 2 will go pretty quick. So, if it's late for you or it's not, and you decide you want to go just climb in bed, then you should do that. That would be your glimmer. Go to bed early. All right, so let's have our little bullet. I think this is the one I want to use for my bullet. My bullet is the stamp that is going to go between each of the things on my list. This is a tiny one. Remember what we say, right size your stamping block to your stamp. Tiny stamp calls for tiny stamping block, stamping stylus. This is another one of my products, this little stamping stylus that is meant for your small stamps, right? I could use any one of these stamping blocks for that little stamp, but again, it's kind of difficult because it's so much bigger than my stamp. This, our hand is very familiar with that because it's like something like this, right? So super easy to use, makes it really easy because then all I'm doing is this as I'm stamping, right? Super easy. Now, when you have a stamp that has a direction to it, and this one definitely has a direction to it, right? If I go this way, it's different than if I go this way, or this way, or this way. I like all of my little bullets, my glimmer bullets, to be facing the same direction, the same orientation. And it's really hard for me to see that when I'm stamping, right? I can't really see that. But what I can see is a little label on my stamping stylus. So if you put your stamp in relation to the little label, the squirrel, and you're always paying attention to where the squirrel is, then your stamp should be relatively in the same position every time. All right, so here we go. Dink. First thing on my list. Oh my gosh, okay. So our first PM game drive in Mala, we came around a corner in the dark. Oh my gosh, you know what that reminds me? I don't remember who sings it. You remember that song, In the Dark? Dun, 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 in the dark, yeah. Anyhow, came around a corner in the dark to see an owl perched on the side of the road. That was pretty cool. And, you know, there we are in our safari Jeep, and there that owl is like literally just right there. And it was like, that is so cool. I love owls. Owls are, well, I know, I kind of squirrels are kind of my spirit animal, but owls are also kind of my spirit animal. And so I've never seen an owl up close like that before, you know, other than the guy in Venice Beach or whatever who's got the big owl that you can go pet. I don't know if there's one on Venice Beach, but, or maybe seeing one at the zoo, like seeing in the wild. It was really cool. All right, next one. Watching a baby leopard play with its mom. Oh my gosh, like they're like cats. I mean, well, they are a cat, right? But if you have a cat, or if you ever spent any time around a cat, like when cats will like, you know, creep up and then pounce. Well, this little tiny leopard was doing that with its mom, and it was so like amusing to watch. Oh, I know. This, let's see, right here. It was this one. It's that leopard with the mom, and it was so fun, just like kind of observing them. That was just another one of those, just little joy. It was like, oh, that's so cute, fun. And, you know, you can just sit there and be happy watching little cats, well, one big cat, one small cat, just playing. Mimi said, that's one of my glimmers too. I saw an owl on the cliff when I was walking. And that just, I don't know, they're just something very curious about owls. Carol, I was curious as to know, okay, hold on. Not curious about owls. Sorry, it's late at night now. I was visually seeing Carol's chat that said I was curious. Owls are not curious. I think owls are really cool. Yeah. Anyhow, yes. Watching the baby leopard play with his mom. We had a very impromptu gin tasting at the bar in our hotel in Cape Town. Like so cool. Like still, that was like a giant glimmer. We were just, Nick and I very much like gin. In this hotel we were staying, they have this special gin. And so we went down to the bar and asked for a gin and tonic with their special gin. And, they had some other bottles of their own gin too, behind the bar. And so we started asking just questions about them. And then the bartender gave us little tasting of those gins. Next thing you know there's a man standing next to me in a suit. And he says, "Hello, so I understand that you like gin." And we're like, "Well, yes, we do." And he goes, "So I have something I'd like you to try." And he turned out he's the food and beverage manager of the hotel. And somehow as all this is going on, one of the other bartenders went and found him and brought him to us. And he brought out some very special gin that the bartender was like, "I don't even know what this is." Like, he's like, "I can't even believe that this is coming out." And then he brought us like a really special gin that they're starting to make for a new restaurant that they're opening. I mean, it was one of the coolest experiences, but it was just like this, Nick and I just went down the end of the night to have a drink, or the end of our day to have a drink. And it just was this really fun experience. So another glimmer, right? Let's see. Ooh, when we were descending into the clouds on the way down from Table Mountain. So, I'm swimming right. Descending into the clouds on the way down from Table Mountain. And it's not a gondola, I can't remember what it's called, but you're in this thing and you're literally, you can see the big cables, and then all of a sudden the cables disappear into big white clouds. Like, it looks like you're just falling into the air. So that was kind of another cool thing. Just things you observe, or things I observe and think about. Oh, that's a glimmer. Oh, that's a glimmer. Oh, that's a glimmer. Mimi, you have an owl of the picture. Oh, that's amazing. That's very cool. You have an owl in the picture. You have a picture of the owl. All of the baby elephants. All of the baby elephants. There were so many. And they're so fun to watch because these little teeny things, well, they're not really teeny. They're just teeny compared to the adults. But you might come around the corner in the Jeep and they're standing there eating the trees from the side of the, dirt road or dirt path or whatever. And the little elephant would be like, "Oh," and he'd kind of run under its mom's legs and just, cute things. And baby animals, I don't know. How do you not, I don't know. For me, baby animals glimmer always, hands down. One day, watching the meerkat. Hey, Lusky, what are you doing?
My suit is here.
You what?
My suit?
Oh, you're getting your suit.
Why would I be getting it? I'm making sure it's all together.
Okay, good. That's a good idea. Good plan.
Try it on.
That is our younger son Sam is here, and we are headed up to Seattle on Thursday morning to a wedding. So he had to come check out his suit, and because he's like, "What should I wear?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe this or that." And he's like, "No, I think it'll be okay." I'm like, "Maybe you should come check it out first, huh?" So good job. Way to be responsible, bud.
It'd be really weird if Jack was here.
If Jack was here?
Yeah.
Why would Jack be here?
Well, you're saying that, it's our younger son. Jack lives in Washington.
Well, no, he could be here. You never know.
Okay,
all right,
Mom,
sorry, guys.
Mom,
just family chit chat.
I just walked in the front door and.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow. All right. Yes. So, little meerkat. The meerkat manor. But just watching this meerkat, he was outside of his little, den. And he's just standing there looking out, and all the rest of the meerkats are in the den apparently, but he's standing there watching. Billy Squire, Marilee, that's who it is. That is who it is. Yes, in the dark. I'm like, I know the song, but I don't know who sang it. Billy Squire. And then in the chat, she's doing this. That's hilarious. I don't know. I have not listened to Billy Squire in I don't know, probably 25 years. It just in the dark, right? All right, that's a hoot. Uh, mm. So when we checked into our hotel in Cape Town, the bottle of champagne waiting for us in our room in Cape Town. So that was kind of a double glimmer, because glimmer number one, the hotel left that for us because they knew it was our anniversary, which was so incredibly thoughtful. But number two, the second glimmer, how did they know that? Nick told them ahead of time, which was another glimmer. I'm like, oh, honey, that's so nice. That's so thoughtful of you. So yeah, that's fun. We enjoyed that. Penguins. Now, this may seem odd, watching the penguins waddle down the sand berm. I don't know how to spell berm either. B-U-R-M, I hope. If not, oh well. So there is a penguin sanctuary south, I think, outside of Cape Town. And we went to that penguin sanctuary. So literally all these penguins, I mean, it's hot there, right? All these penguins are on the beach in this sanctuary. And to watch them, they up the top of a berm, and they'd kind of waddle down to go in the ocean. That was quite funny. It was just another glimmer. It's like, oh my gosh, penguins waddling. That's glimmer, right? So if you're making a glimmer list and you are short of one or two things to put on, just throw penguins waddling there, okay? Berm. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Karen. Here, we'll never even know. No one will ever even know. Berm. It's like a perm. A perm. Yes, thank you. All right, next up, our guide. There were a couple things with him. Our guide, Stefan, at Mala going Ferrari safari. So it was so funny when we'd be like in a hurry to like try to follow an animal or something like that. He'd be like, hold on, we're going Ferrari safari. Because then he'd be driving fast. So, well, as fast as you can go in a, I don't know, whatever kind of vehicle it is, on really dirt, bumpy roads and through bushes and things. So Ferrari safari, that every time he would say that, it'd give me a little chuckle. Another glimmer. So you can get glimmers from other people, right? Glimmers from other people. Seeing other people happy. Seeing Stefan get so excited seeing specific things. So when you think about it, I mean, if it is your job to take people on safari and you see animals all day, every day, your entire career, there's probably not a lot that you're seeing that's going to get you really excited. But there were 3 or 4 things that we saw that you should, like the look on his face, you could hear it in his voice, and those were definitely glimmers. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love those glimmers. Like, that just, to see him so happy and excited just gave me a glimmer. On that same note, seeing Mom and Gail, her best friend, Gail, so amazed throughout the trip. My mom, her entire life has wanted to go South Africa. And yes, sweetie?
Don't forget about how happy I was about those LMP bottles. The soda from New Zealand.
Oh yes, that's right. Okay, I'll tell that glimmer too. Anyhow, so I don't know, we started planning, when Nick and I started planning the trip like 3 years ago, my mom's like, I want to go. And Nick's like, okay. And so my mom was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And Nick's like, no, why don't you go with us? And so she never would have done that trip on her own. She is 78. She just would not feel comfortable doing it on her own. But the fact that she and her best friend could go with us, that just made it kind of a cool thing. So that was really cool to see their excitement through their eyes. Yeah. The last thing, and this, I will never forget this particular thing that happened. This is turning my head and seeing a lilac breasted roller bird literally right over my shoulder. That's my new spirit animal. A lilac breasted roller. Holy cow. So their breast is like a lilac, kind of a little shimmery, holographic. They spread their wings and it's like the most beautiful, brilliant royal blue that you have ever seen. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was amazing. All right, so here we go. Those are my glimmers from that particular trip. I will tell you one more that Sam just walked in and said, Mom, tell them about this glimmer. So Sam had, as I'm picking up, and then I'll do a giveaway. So how about that? I will do a giveaway. So let's talk about the giveaway first. While I'm picking up and telling you this story, you can just start in the chat. Just chat away in the chat because that's where the giveaway takes place. Chat about whatever you'd like to chat about. If you want to talk about a glimmer or just pop a glimmer in there, that would be. Hold on. That was Louisa. That is Sam. That's Sam who just walked in and said that. Anyhow, so let's do a giveaway and then I'll kind of finish telling the story. This is what happens at night. My brain has sometimes a hard time putting a sentence together. So giveaway happened in the chat. Just chat away. Once I get everything put away from this list and stop telling my story, then I will scroll my finger up in the chat. Wherever it stops, that's the person that will win the giveaway. And I know. How about this? So I mentioned there is a new stamp and die release hitting on the 15th of September. So this giveaway, the lucky winner will win $25 like coupon code to use on the website for whatever you want to buy. Okay? All right. So Sam said, Mom, tell him, remember this glimmer? Tell him about that. So Sam had gone to New Zealand a couple of years ago. And when he came back, he could not stop talking about this soda. I don't remember what kind of soda it is. If anyone is here from New Zealand or Australia, you would definitely know what it is. If he comes back in, I will ask him. But he could not stop talking about this soda. It was like a lemonade type soda or whatever. So he came back probably in November, and I start thinking, Christmas. You know what would be really fun is if I got him some of that soda. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you can't find the soda anywhere except for Australia or New Zealand. So I went online and I ordered the most incredibly expensive bottle of soda you could ever imagine. The reason it was expensive was because I had to ship it. But I thought, you know what? This is going to be this is really going to make an impact. Sam, come here.
What, Mom?
What's the name of the soda?
L&P.
L&P.
Lemon and Peroa.
Lemon and Perola.
Peroa.
Peroa. What's Peroa?
It's it's a city in New Zealand. I believe it's on the South Island.
Okay. A city in New Zealand on the South Island, you believe. Lemon and Peroa.
It's like lemon cream soda.
Like lemon cream soda. Okay.
Yes.
L&P. L&P. Yes, Belinda said Sam, and then she put L&P. So yes. Yes, it was very expensive soda. But you know what? It was one of those things I thought, this will be, maybe if I'm thinking this will work out correctly, this will be like core memory. So Christmas morning, open up gifts, and I have this Christmas sack or whatever, and I hand it to him. And he opens it up. And if I could show you right now the photo I took of him doing that, he was you would have thought that I just gave him a check for $1 million. I mean, the look on his face, it was so, now he's laughing. He's like, yeah, not quite, Mom.
No.
No, he was so surprised because you can't get it. I mean, I tried anywhere. I just Googled how to find L&P soda and you could not buy it. I don't know, maybe if I found in LA some special New Zealand store or something, but no. Anyhow, So that was really fun. That was a glimmer for me to see him get so excited about it. All right, friends. All right. Yes. And Heather, New Zealand's a bucket list for me too. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, it was definitely, I'm pretty sure it was in my December daily for that year. All right, friends. Let me just add a date to this and then we're going to do a giveaway. Then I'm going to draw the giveaway. We already talked about the giveaway, but then I will draw the giveaway. Today is September 9th. I'm doing a roller date stamp here. We'll do black because I don't want it to get lost with that sage. Always test even those too, okay? You always want to test because maybe somehow it accidentally, the year rolled around to a different year or something. So always test. There we go, September 9th, 2025. To me, it's important that I date these because I would be like, well, wait a minute, when was that? Now this one, it's a little bit easier to remember when it was. All right, stop the chat. And the winner is Marsha Blount. Marsha Blount. And Marsha said South Island. So Marsha, now I'm curious, are you New Zealand? Are you New Zealand? And that's, you know, of course you can still win it. But I'm just curious if that's where you're from. Marsha, congratulations. You are the random lucky winner of a $25 shopping on the website. Now, if you are in New Zealand, we've talked about, or at least Australia, because someone mentioned that shipping's very expensive. So digital idea books, digital stamps, and things like that you could purchase if you don't want to do shipping. All right, so our next list, our next two lists, this is now how I'm going to make this go a little bit. You just went there. Okay, got it. Heather, do I sell roller date stamps? Heather, I do. I sell this little guy. And it's nice and teeny. So I think it's called a small roller date stamp. I think that's what it's called on the website. You're Ohio. Oh, perfect, Marcia. Then shipping is, well, you know, shipping anywhere is expensive, but not quite shipping to New Zealand or Australia. Okay, our next two lists. They really have nothing to do with each other, but I am going to do them side by side. The only thing they really have to do with each other is they both, one way or another, have to do with fall. All right? Louisa, can you imagine Shams sharing this story to his grandkids? Yes, right? Yeah. So I think it was a core memory. Clearly it was a core memory. If he can hear me in the other room, he goes, Mom, tell him about the glimmer with the L&P soda. I will tell you, once you start looking for glimmers and maybe talking to people about them, Nick knows about them, right? Because we'll be somewhere, I'm like, oh, there's a glimmer. Now Nick notices them. Clearly, my 24-year-old son also notices them, or at least knows what they are, because he just came in and said, Mom, that was a glimmer, right? Okay, didn't want to say that too loud. Okay, our next two lists. I'll tell you what the topics are. I'm going to do one, and then we'll do the other one side by side. The first one is a little bit of a spin on this guy. This guy was things I'm looking forward to this fall. You know what? All of our lists don't have to be rainbows and butterflies. And I mean, there's no rainbows and butterflies on there, so I mean figuratively, right? This list is things, what did I call this? Dreading this fall. Things I dread this fall, right? I mean, and dread may be kind of a strong word, but things I'm not looking forward to. So if dread's a little bit of a stronger word than you want to use, it could be things you're not looking forward to this fall, right? Maybe you're a school teacher, Marilee. Maybe, hopefully, you've got a good class this year. But maybe the first day you were dreading it because you were worried, right? It's okay to say we're dreading things, right? It's reality. If we pretend like life is all butterflies or sunshine and rainbows, then it's not really, it's not really reality. So for me, things I'm dreading this fall, and dreading, that's a strong word, but things I dread this fall. And I will use the word dread instead of dreading. Okay. Driving in the snow, wearing jackets every day, sunset super early. Oh, absolutely, Carol. And then Heather, right? Anniversary of my mom's passing. Absolutely dreading that. That is, I'm sure, Heather, that's really tough. And it's okay to acknowledge that there are things that we dread. There are things that we look forward to, things that we dread. Sometimes we feel like we only should be documenting the good stuff. But reality is not everything is good. Sometimes we do good things that happen this week. You could do something that was the 4-letter word things that happen this week. The bad things, that's only a 3-letter word. Bad things that happen this week. It's, it's part of all the documenting. You get to decide what you document, how you do it. All right. Time change. Yes, right. Oh, Gina, same thing. I've been keeping my hummingbird feeder full. They have emptied fast. Now, maybe that's a glimmer for you. Where I was taking that is our hummingbirds are gone. And that's sad when the hummingbirds are gone. I get a lot of joy out of seeing the hummingbirds, another glimmer. All right. Not looking forward to holiday without my daughter. Right, Belinda, that's not looking forward to. You could say dread. You get to decide how you want to, approach it for sure. Harzies, hello. Dreading that it will take an extra 5 minutes to bundle up and go outside, right? And we could have fun with it, right? We could have fun. We could make light of the things that we're dreading, but there may be some pretty serious things that we're dreading, like people that are no longer with us or maybe have moved away or, All right, so this one's going to be pretty simplistic. The way that, right, that's the other one. Still pretty simplistic. So I am going to start out with the rub-ons again. I guess if I had skull and crossbones, if I wanted to put that here for dreading, I could, right? But I thought, it's still fall. I don't want to make it like so. So I thought, I have these nice fall rub-ons. I might as well use them, right? So I thought I might kind of create a little bundle of leaves down here. If you missed me talk about rub-ons earlier and you are new to rub-ons or it's been a really long time since you've used rub-ons, when we're done, you might want to go back and watch that part because there are a couple of tips that I shared that for me make a huge difference when it comes to using rub-ons. All right. But I won't talk about those again because we just talked about them a little bit ago. All right. So here's my first guy. I think this guy will put right there. And I grab my little rub-on tool or popsicle stick or bone folder. You choose which tool you want. And I am not letting go. You'll notice as I am moving that, this little rub-on tool that I call it, around, I am making sure to not let go. I don't want to let go. I don't want that rub-on to move and I get a big old crack in there. All right, so I think it's probably pretty good. Let's grab our tweezers and start to pull up. If I pull up and I notice that part of that rub-on is still on my sheet, all I have to do is lay it back down because I have not moved it. If I lay it back down, that's exactly where it's supposed to go. If I have moved it, then good luck trying to get it, let's say if half of this leaf rubbed on and half didn't. As long as I haven't moved it, it makes it super easy for me to just lay it right back down again. There we go. And then we'll just kind of rub that over it. I had it bleed off the bottom a little bit, so let's do that. Snip that off. And I want to do another one over here. So let's look at maybe this guy. Oh, there's a little butterfly there. Well, that little butterfly is actually going to get covered up. So I think what I might try to do here is I might try this. I'm going to cut away the butterfly, right? There's no reason for me to waste that well, it's not super cute, but it's no reason for me to waste that beautiful butterfly if it's going to get covered up. As I do that, I need to make sure that that rub-on does not become separated from its little backer sheet. So, easy solution, just staple it. And then that I'll just throw back in my little rub-on bag with the rest of the rub-ons. Oh, Joe Disney fan. 9/24 is my 31 anniversary with my late husband, Chris, and I hate cold and snow, so not looking forward to that either. Oh, that Joe, I'm so sorry. I am sure that's incredibly difficult. 31 years. Oh. Do you mind my asking when he passed? Is that okay to ask? I won't pry and ask for why. I'm just curious as to when. Yeah, and you know what? It's okay to acknowledge those things, right? It's okay to make a list of the things that you're really not looking forward to. I don't know, maybe Thanksgiving. Maybe Thanksgiving you have to be with your mother-in-law and you really don't like your mother-in-law. It's okay to say that, right? It's okay to say that. Autumn Trepidation, that's a good title. Carol said, I dread when I see the prettiest tree and no camera and then it rains and knocks the leaves off the tree, right? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Heather, it's been a year. Heather, you had a rough year, right? Because you lost your job, which turned out to be a blessing, right? And then you lost your mom. Oh, Heather. And I don't, fortunately, I haven't had a parent that has passed, so I cannot relate. But I imagine that the first year is, I mean, I'm sure it's all incredibly difficult. But I imagine that first year, that first anniversary, or, a spouse or a friend or a child, sure that even a pet, right? That first year anniversary is a little difficult. Not a little, a lot. Not meaning to, marginalize that all. I'm sure it's very difficult. 2024, not a great year. Joe Disney fan. He passed when he was 48 in 2017. Oh, so young. So young. All right. So, this is the next thing I'm going to do. I was thinking, do I want to put a TV on there? No, not a TV. That's my next list. Sorry. This would not make a TV. Well, I guess I could be dreading, TV in the fall. No. Getting my two lists mixed up. So I'm like, well, I don't want this to be like skull and crossbones things I'm dreading, but I feel like, I also don't want to put rainbows and butterflies, although I could. So I'm like, what could I add? What could I do? I'm going to this guy. This one? No. This one? No. This one. This guy. I hope. Oh, yes. Okay. This is my extraordinary things to cut out in collage book. Basically just images of all different kinds of things. When I do junk journaling, I like to pull from this. So I'm kind of bringing this in again. And I am cutting out that out. So this little owl is going, oopsie, 2 pages there. Sorry, fish. I think I just maimed a fish there. This owl is going to just go down because look, he's kind of looking at us like, oh my gosh, like, oh boy. It looks like he might work. So if we put him here, this is going to be a very simple list. Now I need to cut around him. You'll notice I cut him away from the page and then I'm just taking my little fussy cutting scissors and cutting around his little silhouette here. All right. He will go right there. Things I'm dreading this fall. You don't have to have any kind of product, right? I, like to play with product. I also make product and I also sell product. So typically you see me working with product. But you can cut things out of magazines. Ooh, let's put him down. You can cut things out of magazines. You can catalogs, brochures, whatever. You might start looking at your junk mail entirely differently than you have in the past because, might be some fun things you could cut out. Or you can buy a book. All right, there we go. So now, I just remembered something I forgot to do. I forgot to outline the elephant page. So tonight when I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've had really late nights, I've had a lot of design work, I've had lots of deadlines that I need to hit. And I'm like, so what are some things I could do tonight to simplify things a little? I'm like, you know what? I used to, when I first started listing, especially when we started doing our Saturdays, I was doing some pretty simple lists. 1-pagers. Wait, let me see where they are. Well, they're all through here, but. So, wow, something's going on in the kitchen. Sorry about that. But things like this, just here's one list. Add a little bit of washi, some pattern paper, do a little bit of stamping, done. This guy, add a little bit of pattern paper, but not all of your lists have to be like super crazy complicated, lots of stamping and layers and 2 pages. That one, super easy. Why I list? Just a little list, some pattern paper, a title, and stamp, right? So that's one of the ways I thought, well, we might be able to go a little bit faster tonight if we do something like that. Okay, now I'm going to run into an issue here. This is the issue. I wanted to, let's see if this will still work. If I can figure out a way to make this work. So dread, I am going to use big letters for dread. I'm going to stamp dread in big letters so that it's really obvious what's going on. I want that to kind of be the focus. And because I'm working directly on this page, that would mean I would stamp directly on this page. Well, you just saw me turn the page. I turned the page to see what I had done back here. I have also written directly on this page. So if I come in here and start stamping on this page, I will end up with a little bit of shadowing or ghosting on this page. And depending on what color I use, I could end up with a lot of shadowing or ghosting. So I don't want that to happen. So actually, I think I'm going to pivot. I think I'm going to pivot here and use alphabet stickers instead. And if you're not familiar with that term, shadowing or ghosting, let me show you what I mean. Where's my little testing notebook? This will be overly exaggerated because this is very thin paper. Let's see. Okay, so you see it a lot here. On this page, you see I had stamped black, larger letters, right? And the shadowing or ghosting, when you turn the page, do you see how you can see the reverse image of all of those stamps? Now, I am really trying to make it obvious for you to see, so I'm holding it up in the air. There's really bright lights in here. You can't see anything underneath it. There's nothing underneath it, but that is shadowing or ghosting. Really nothing wrong with that, but I know I would not like the way that looked here. It would affect what I had done over here. And I spent a lot of time making that list look nice, right? So I'm pivoting. I am going to use some letter stickers. Let's see. But I'd like them all to be lowercase. Let's see if I can find silver, white, gold, black. Okay, now let me make sure. If you are spelling a word, I always like to, Louisa, yes, I'll comment on that in just a second. So if I'm going to spell a word, I know D-R-E-A-D, 5 letters, right? So I'm going to look and check to make sure. Do I have 2 D's? Before I start, do I have 2 D's? I do. D, D. I haven't used any of these, so there should be an R, right? R, E, A, D. So I checked before I started. Last thing I want to have happen is get half of that word spelled here and go, oh shoot, I don't have another D. Louisa said, can you stamp on a separate piece of paper? Absolutely, I could. So usually what happens is if I have, hang on, let me think about this. It's right here. If I had stamped here, and this is a pretty light ink, so you really don't see the shadowing or ghosting here. But if this was in black and I turned the page, I'd be like, oh shoot, I can't work directly on this sheet because I see a lot of shadowing or ghosting. Then I would put a whole piece of paper on there and, do something like this to kind of camouflage it. You wouldn't even know that happened. Now, if I didn't want to do that, I could certainly take a piece of white cardstock and stamp on it and do my title right there. So always ways around it, but I'm just going to use letter stickers on this one. All right, so what I'm going to do though, let's make sure, will I fit? I will fit. All right, I'm going to take my little ruler. All right, here's my little ruler. And I am going to use my ruler for 2 purposes. One, so my stickers are lined up straight. Now, the inserts that I'm using today are lined, so that makes it pretty easy to get things straight, right? But if you are working between the lines, or if you are working somewhere where you don't have lines, this is an easy trick for lining up your letter stickers so that they will be straight. I'm just using a horizontal line there on the ruler, right? So that's the first reason, one of 2, that I am using this ruler, okay? So then I've got my R, and I like my letters to be fairly close together, so I am going to, kind of stack them. Not stack them, I will place them close together here. D-R. We have an early morning flight on Thursday, so Nick has to be out of town on Friday, so he's not coming to the wedding with us, but my mom and Sam and I are all going together up to Seattle, and we have to leave the house at like 5:20 in the morning. And so my mom and Sam are coming over for sleepover tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. All right, so I'm just continuing to spell the word dread. And I'm using my tweezers as opposed to my fingers to place them. It's just a lot more precise tweezers than with my fingers. All right, D-R-E-A-D. Now, if I didn't have a second D, I could use some other letters. Like I could use, that could be a D. It's really not a D. I think that's a P. That's a Q. If I need another B, I could turn that upside down. So sometimes you have some options if you don't quite have the letters you need. Sometimes you have to Frankenstein a letter where you have to cut letters apart to make them work. All right, dread. So that's the first reason I am using my ruler. So they're straight. Straight-ish, right? Second reason is that I don't have to guess where the center is. I don't have to guess where to start my D, or I don't have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 letters. E would be in the middle. Place my E and then go either side. I place them here. I can decide where do I want it. Do I want it to go right there? Do I want it to go there? Do I want it to go over here or over here? I think I'd like it here. I'd like to be pretty traditional with that, of where it would normally go. Then I just move it around until it looks centered-ish. That looks pretty good. In fact, this guy, I am going to go in between the lines. And now I'm going to press down on those letter stickers. And then gently roll my ruler out from underneath. Okay? Straight and centered. Straight and centered. Louisa, no, not wedding for Jack. Oh yeah, no. If Nick would not have a work conflict, he would not be able to miss Jack's wedding. It is stepnephew, and my whole side of the family will be there. So my sister lives up there, and she's going. My ex stepdad, but you know, he and my mom were married for like 30 years or something. So you know, still stepdad. And he and my mom are still really good friends. I have 2 stepbrothers, a stepsister, stepnephews. Anyhow, so yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And Jack and his fiance are also going to the wedding, so it will be lots of fun. Dread. Now, if I'm like, okay, hold on. My title is Things I'm Dreading This Fall, and I didn't want to spell dreading. So if I'm like, ooh, how is this going to work? Then I could come in here, Things I'm Dreading This Fall. I could just write my title right up there. Things I'm Dreading This Fall. All right, there we go. Dread. And now he kind of works, right? It's fall. There's my leaves and dread. That guy is looking like, oh boy. He's looking like, I don't know. He's got the big old eyes. Now, do we want to maybe put another leaf in here somewhere? I think we should. That's just a lot of blank space. Let's put another leaf in there. Oh, I know what else we could do. I think we might need to add another stamp or two. If we pull out the stamp set, the Bad Days stamp set, that might work there really well. Ooh, before we do that, maybe let's get the Bad Days stamp set and see. Okay, hang on. My back is to you while I'm pulling this stamp set. Let's see if this works. All right, it will. Hang it. Now, I have to tell you, there's a few bad words on here. I won't tell you what they are, but there are a few bad words on this stamp set. Oh, you look so handsome. I love it. Oh, yes, that's the outfit. Where's your shoes?
At my house.
Okay, that's the outfit. Yes. Is that your coat? Yeah. Your jacket? Oh.
You guys bought me this when I was like 16.
Yes.
And it was, well, I haven't worn it in
yes, I love
5+ years.
Okay, go have Dad, you have Dad take a picture.
I need you to take a picture. You're better at it.
Okay, I am on
I'm gonna come bring you my phone.
Okay, you know what? We'll take a picture of the wedding. It's good. Oh, you guys should see him. He's so handsome.
I need you to take
oh, here.
a
Okay,
picture
come
for
here.
me.
So here, they
My
would like to
phone?
see. They want to see.
Give me a second. I want my phone.
You don't need your phone. I will just show the camera.
Elena told me she wanted a
Okay.
picture.
I'll do this. Sorry, you guys. It's mother-son stuff. I will do this. I just lost the chat. What did I do there? Oh, hold on. Yikes. Okay, hold on. Whoa, I've got like 2 windows here. What's going on? My chat. Oh, there we go. Okay. I will put it in the Facebook group. All right. I will put it in the Facebook group. Now, he doesn't get dressed up very often. So I'll put it in the Facebook group. You know what? At some point, maybe tonight if Nick takes a picture of them. But So when he played football in high school, you used to have to, oh yeah, here, that'll be a great way to do it.
No, football and lacrosse.
Football and lacrosse. Okay, hold on. I'm going to take a picture and then I'll show you the picture. And you know what? Reggie's things. Okay, just Reggie's things are on the floor. There's boxes in the background. Okay, here you go. So, here he is. So look at him in his nice jacket, his nice tweed jacket, and his little skinny pants. Your tie needs some help. It's not tied very well, but I won't be able to help you with that, but Dad could. Anyhow, there he is, so handsome.
Yeah, well, I
With
very
your curly hair.
haphazardly tossed it
Yes,
together.
I know. But anyhow, so I'll keep going here. He was when he was in high school and played lacrosse and football. When they had home games, you had to dress, and dress meant you had to dress up at school, and you'd wear a tie and a nice white shirt, and usually not a jacket, but every once in a while a jacket. So he has some fun ties and nice jackets and stuff like that from his 4 years of sports. Okay. So I was saying there's some words here that have some swear words. So it's called bad day. It does say swearing helps. Not okay. Is it tomorrow yet? Not feeling it. Yeah, no. Seriously, ugh. Chin up, buttercup. Hang in there. No, just no. Nope. Not my circus. Not my monkeys. Glad that's over. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything. It's fine. Now that F word, it doesn't really say it. It's got a little asterisk there. And then there's just two bad words. The 4-letter S word. So. But sometimes you need something like this, right, to document the maybe not so good. So let's just see if maybe we will put one of these down, a couple down. There's a thumbs down. There's a hang in there. I think those would be fun to add. I really do. So let's pull, maybe we should do it in some kind of, I don't know, orange? I don't know. Orange might be weird. Let's grab this. Let's grab our little color swatch here and see. Rusty hinge. I mean, rusty hinge would work. Let's just make it easy. Let's do rusty hinge. Rusty hinge. It is on the floor because I was using it. When was that? Yesterday. Seems like a long time ago. Yesterday when I was finishing my setups for the Traveler's Notebooks for the fall holiday season pass. Let's see. Let's do thumbs down. We're just going to stamp a bunch of different words on here. And then we'll write our list. So, things I'm dreading this fall. And there is nothing that is, there's nothing significant on here, right? But it's just, some things I'm not looking forward to. Dread's a strong word. Just some things I'm not looking forward to. I don't know, like if you have to go your annual OB appointment, maybe you're not looking forward to that. Generally, no, OB, not OB, GYN, not the OB part. Maybe I don't look forward to those, it's just something that we need to do, but I don't look forward to them. Let's do thumbs down. Or maybe the dentist. Oh yeah. Yeah, that needs to go on my list. You know why? Because I think either I broke part of a filling way in the back or maybe part of a tooth. And it's in between, like it's, butted up, like in between, like where you floss, it's up in there. Yeah, I'm dreading going to the dentist. I have an appointment. I'm dreading that because I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, it could mean root canal, and I'm not a fan of root canals. You know what's also not a fan of root canals? My wallet. Yeah. But I'm dreading that. For sure dreading that. Like, that's a true dread. That is a true dread. Yeah. Dentist is not my favorite. He's a very nice man. It's just the profession that I'm not fond of. Daylight savings time. Yep, Karen, that's on my list as well. I dread that. I really do. I dread that. All right. Hang in there. Thumbs down. What else do we want here? What else would be apropos? Now, see, you thought when I said, hey, I'm going to use this owl, you probably thought, what the heck, Lael? Like, what? I think it kind of works, right? And because you're not here to look at me like I have two heads, I just assume you agree with me. So I don't really know. Seriously? Yeah, no. I think I like, yeah, no. Glad that's over. Well, we're not over yet. Not over yet. Swearing helps. Sometimes it does, huh? Hang in there. I'll do swearing helps. Swearing helps. Yeah, I think I've told you guys before. I do not swear here. I do not swear on my lives. I think maybe once I said the D word, the D-A-M-N, when the water gets stopped up, like that kind of dam, but really the other dam. I think I've said that once, and I said something else once, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. I'm so sorry. But in real life, sailor. Sailor. I swear a lot. Hate to say that, but hope that doesn't change your opinion of me. Oh, as I do that. We lucked out. There's no shadowing or ghosting even after we're okay. All right. Let's see. Heather broke a tooth a month ago, took 4 shots to get it numb enough to fix. OMG, I thought I was going to punch the dentist. Yes. Mimi has a dentist appointment, one tomorrow. Hello, Lizzie. Ooh, a dread list. Yes, Lizzie, I know you had it. Lizzie and I were talking last night, my friend Lizzie Lou, that does, some of you, the Christmas bash, right? The Christmas bash. And Cindy Hollenbeck. Yeah, she knows about that. Christmas bash that we do every year in Anaheim, outside of Anaheim, outside of Disneyland. But she and I were talking on the phone last night. She had a big dread, right? Just, health, a lot of times at our age, sometimes the health things are a big dread, right? Real life is cussing. Zen girls, same here. That's for me, yeah. Heather said, I'm the child of a sailor and a trucker when it comes to my potty mouth. All right, so let's talk about what I'm dreading. I need oh gosh, now that Lizzie's here, I guess I better take teaching at her event off of my list. Just kidding, it's not really on my list. I love you, Lizzie. All right, I need a bullet stamp, right? So let's see if I have a bullet stamp. I do not have a bullet stamp that has anything to do with cussing or swearing or hand gestures, okay? So those, I don't have any of those. It's funny, we have talked about on and off for a couple of years, friends, about whether I really embrace full on like a cussing stamp set, and I don't know, I'm torn. I mean, not everybody has to buy it. I just, it's my business. I would use it, not here. I would use it privately. And I think people would like it. I don't know if I want to go there. I'm not sure. So we'll just see. All right. What am I going to use here? I need a little bullet stamp. What do we want to use? How about this? Now this could be kind of funny. Oh, thumbs down. Kelly, you're so smart. Yes, thumbs down is perfect. This would be a funny one. This is actually a pointer finger. It's pointing, so it's not a middle finger. But if you put it that way, it might look like it was a middle. No, I won't do that. You can tell I'm punchy now. Where's my thumbs down? Thumbs down. Is it on this one? It is. Thumbs down is on bullets and more. That's perfect. Perfect thumbs down. All right. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. It's probably because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm talking about all the swear words and I don't want you to, people are like, oh, Lael, we've lost any respect we had for you. Okay, thumbs down. I'm just being honest. I make sure we get that thumb going in the right direction here. Is that the right direction? This is upside down and backwards. No, that's a hitchhiker. Oh, so some of my stamps do double duty. Thumbs down could also be a hitchhiker, if you want to do some kind of hitchhiking list or something, right? Like maybe you're doing memories of, your college days back in I don't know, whenever you went to college, but that's a thumbs up. This is a thumbs down. There we go. Let's get it right. Thumbs down. There we are. Your hitchhiking days. I'm very punchy now, friends. Very punchy. So this is one that's critical. Well, not necessarily critical, but it's just a stamp. Important that you are paying attention to the way you stamp it. Otherwise, you might have a bunch of thumbs up or hitchhikers. All right. Hang on. I feel like I need one more thing right there. I'm going to grab a word strip sticker. Let's see if a snarky one. Let's see snarky. Snarky. I bet we could find a really fun snarky one here. It's a beautiful day to leave me alone. Well, that would work. Things I'm dreading. It's a beautiful day to leave me alone. The sarcasm is strong with this one. This is my cup of care. Oh, look, it's empty. I'm sorry, and by sorry, I meant get over it. Very, snarky, right? Things I'm looking forward to. Things I'm dreading. What was the first one? It's a beautiful day to leave me alone. That works really well there. So this is very long. We don't need it to be that long. So we're going to cut part of it off. We're just going to snip it. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood to leave me alone. It's a beautiful day to leave me alone. That's not quite centered. Let's grab our tweezers and do that the right way. Way easier to center that way. Let me get it down below me so I can really see it. Okay, there we go. That just added like the perfect thing, don't you think? It's a beautiful day to leave me alone. All right, so now, in no particular order, let's see what I'm dreading. Now, again, dread is not, I said dread is not, these are no big deal. None of these are big deals until big deals. What did I do? Did I put them on the wrong way? This, for some reason, I'm struggling with the right way to hold this. Thumbs down, Lil, down. I did not put him on the stamp set the correct way in relation. Oh, no, I did. There he is. Okay. All right. We'll see if this is going to work because it may be funny. There we go. Thumbs down. Okay. Cut the rub off in half so it looks like it's tucked behind the line. Oh, I think maybe Lisa's behind us. All right. Toothbrush says, I hate my job. Toilet paper. What? I'm confused. Okay. Here we go. Things I'm dreading this fall. Raking all the leaves. First, I'm dreading the leaves falling off the trees. And then raking all the leaves. So in our neighborhood, there's kind of a big entryway and there are these really tall trees. And our house backs that. And a lot of the leaves from all of those trees in the entryway come in our yard. So I really don't like it when the leaves fall because that means fall is coming, and I like the summer and I like everything green and looking nice, but then also having to rake them. Raking all the leaves. Another one, deadheading all of the flowers. That means summer is over. And that makes me sad. I like the summer. Now, what I can also use here, I got my little hand-drawn sad face. And normally I would just draw a sad face, but I would like it to be in that color. And I think there's even a sad face on Bad Day, I think. I want to say there's one there too. Whoopsie, wrong way. Yes, so deadheading the leaves is a chore, or deadheading the flowers is a chore, and then it's sad that summer's over. People do dread going to work. They absolutely do dread going to work, right? They do. There have been times in my career where I have absolutely dreaded going to work. And you know what? Some days I wake up and I'm like, I dread going to work for today. And I work for myself, right? There's some times you just have to do things you don't want to do, and so, yeah, and it's okay, right? It's okay. Another one. Putting away the patio furniture. I sense a theme here, and I am writing that. the theme is all of those things mean summer is over. The leaves falling off the trees, summer's over. Deadheading the flowers, summer's over. Putting away the patio furniture, summer's over. There's a theme. I don't want summer to be over in case you're not catching that. Next up is daylight. We're going to do it like this. Daylight savings. Like, I really dread daylight savings for a lot of reasons. Definitely for a lot of reasons. If you're looking at a list like this and you're like, well, you know, I don't really, I kind of like the idea, but I'm not quite sure where to start. Well, this will give you ideas, right? For sure. But weather related, changes in routine, chores. If there are chores that you have to do, clearly there's some chores here. I made some notes. Maybe mood, like shorter days, holidays. Like I said, maybe your mother-in-law comes over for Thanksgiving and you're dreading that, right? It's a lot of stress around the holidays. Shorter days. And actually, right, really the days aren't shorter. They're still 24 hours, but it's less daylight. Shorter days equals less daylight. Equals me feeling less productive. I don't know, in the summer, I can work till 9:30 at night because I'm like, oh, it's still the day. Well, in the wintertime, fall time, when daylight savings changes and all of a sudden it's dark at 6 o'clock, I'm like, oh, 6 o'clock, guess I better stop working. It's time to go to bed. I mean, I don't really do that, but you know, it just seems like you have so much more time during the summer. All right, next up. Now, this is, do not take this the wrong way. Lizzie, if you're still here, don't take this the wrong way. On my list, I have more work travel, less personal travel. I have traveled a bunch this year, and I love to travel. But because I am heading into my busy teaching time, that means less personal travel. I'm not dreading work travel. I am dreading having less personal travel. It's not looking forward to. That's what I mean. I'm not looking forward to not traveling for personal anymore. Come get some double negatives in there. More work, travel, and less personal travel. See, like I said, there's nothing like life changing on any of this, right? But there are things I'm not looking forward to. This is a big one. For me, yes, sweetie.
Good night.
Good night. Love you. We'll see you tomorrow. What time are you coming tomorrow?
Me and Elena are hanging out tomorrow.
Okay.
So
All right.
I will be sleeping here.
Okay. All right. Well, just please keep me posted.
Is Grammy sleeping on, like, in my room then?
Yes.
So I'm sleeping on.
You're sleeping on the couch.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
worried then.
All right. Thank you guys for letting me parent for a minute there. Yes, I know. And Heather, you're so lucky. Well, Arizona is one of the states where time does not change, which I'm very jealous of that. For me, this is another one. Change in appetite. And that change is not that I am less hungry. It's that I feel like I'm more hungry. I don't know. Maybe it's psychological and I'm preparing for the winter. So I've got to eat more to put pounds on because I think I might starve, right? I don't know what it is, but a change in appetite. I don't know. In the summertime, sometimes it's hot. Maybe that's it, whatever it is. My appetite is very different in the summer than it is the winter. And then there's also the whole thing of, well, I don't have to put shorts on or a bathing suit on because I live in the land of the tundra in the wintertime. So, oh yeah, you put a couple of extra pounds on. No one's going to see it. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that. So I don't have to add to my list gaining weight because it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Did I say daylight savings? I did. Here's another one. Fresh fruits and vegetables, some of them, not all of them, like berries and zucchini and cucumbers can be, not necessarily always, can be harder to come by. Now, they grow them in lots of different places, right? So it's really the fresh. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, good, they're the blueberries, and you eat them, and you're like, ooh, yeah, those don't really taste like the blueberries in the summertime. All right, the last thing on my list is the lilac-breasted roller. No, that was my last list. Just an overall really hectic schedule. And it's every fall like clockwork. And I do it to myself. Now, I've got this weird thing happening here. So, I need something else to dread. Yes, Maureen, that's what I mean. I'm dreading the end of daylight savings time and the beginning of standard time. That is what I mean, yes. Louisa, you're just leaving. Ooh, safe driving, safe driving. All right, so here's the thing. I need to put something else here because this guy just now happened to end in the middle and it just looks really weird ending right there. So I'm going to check to see what, oh, I know what one thing I'm dreading. The first snow. No, I'm not dreading the first snow because one of the things on my looking forward to list is the first snow. I very much look forward to the first snow. What I don't look forward to dreading is in the snow after the first snow. I don't know. It's like, hello, people. You live in Utah. If you've lived here any amount of time, you've driven in the snow. You remember how to drive in the snow. But there's something about that first snowstorm where people just seem to like lose their minds. You're like, come on. How have we forgotten to drive in the snow, people? All right, there we go. There is the list of things I am dreading this fall. Not looking forward to, right? Like I said, dread's kind of a strong word, but dread fits a little bit better there than, you know, my not looking forward to. And that is the opposite of the list that we did on Saturday, which was things I'm looking forward to this fall, right? So I'm equal opportunity fall. Dread and looking forward to. All right, friends, we have one more list. One more list. Putting sandals away, right? I know. Yes, right? I know. All right. So let's do our last list. Our last list should go pretty quickly because it is going to go right here. And it is also a single page list. Now, before I do anything, I need to put away the thumbs down. You need to put away the thumbs down. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the after party giveaway because I know some of you are leaving and going to bed, and which you absolutely should. After party giveaways. So when we do giveaways, there is always, lately, the last 4 months or so, I do live giveaways, and then there's always an after party giveaway. After party giveaway takes place after the video is over. So that way, people that can't make it live don't miss out on, you know, an opportunity to win a prize. So the way that you participate in an after party giveaway is you leave a comment on the video when it's over. And actually this one you have a long time because I draw the winner before we start our next listing session, which is on Saturday, September 27th, the afternoon. So you just leave a comment on the video. And before we start listing, I sit down, I do the same thing. I just scroll up in the comments wherever my finger stops. That's random. That's the person that wins. So that person will also win a $25 to spend on the website on whatever they want. Okay, our last list. Our last list. It actually originally was part of the things I'm looking forward to this fall list on Saturday. But as I started making that list before we listed, before we actually started working, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. There's a lot of these on this list. This needs to be its own list. So it is its own list, and it is shows. What did I call it? Basically, shows I'm looking forward to, right? So shows that are starting again this fall, which I am very much looking forward to. We don't watch a ton of TV nighttime, and never on during the day at all. It never goes on during the day. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I just, I work at home and always have music on. So TV is usually how Nick and I will unwind and we'll watch a show together at night or something like that. But when the fall comes, it seems like you have more nighttime because it's darker, right? So lots of shows starting this fall that we have watched in the past. So new seasons. So that is what my list is about. And on this list, I'm going to do something kind of fun, I think. I don't know. We'll see. I am mixing, kind of did that a little bit here, but I am mixing paper crafting product, like paper and die cuts and things like that, with a little bit of junk journal style. Okay, so we're gonna hit it from both angles. This one I am using some products from Kelly Bang's her Autumn Archives collection with Spellbinders. So that is the collection that I used here. Oop, not here. That's the collection I used here, some die cuts and paper. And I am going to use some die cuts. I was going to originally do paper, and then I'm like, I'm not going to do paper because I'm going to do my list directly on here. Now, they don't have anything to do with each other, right? They a little bit have a similar theme, and then it's kind of things I'm looking forward to in the fall, so similar colors maybe. If you generally shy away from doing single page lists because of that, you're worried how they're going to look side by side. If you use some of the similar colors, that may help you to get over that a little bit. So, all right, I have pulled out some of the die cuts, and let me look at my little sketch here. Oh yes, here's the sketch. The surprising part of the sketch is going to be this piece right here. So when you look at what I have, you see those long things there. You see a little flower cluster there. That's the normal part. So this will go here. This will go here. It just so happens that, they're sized nicely for Traveler's Notebook insert. And then, in die cuts, you have two of each die cut. So it kind of makes it fun if you find one that you really like, that you can use it more than once. All right, so right now they still look like, they kind of are going together, right? They kind of coordinate. They're not too far off the mark. I think what I may need to do here is maybe grab some washi. Maybe just down here along the bottom, do just a little bit of washi. That's my classic ruler. That's what it's called, classic ruler. Ooh, hang on. I thought that was torn. It was not torn, it was just cut a little off. So I would like it to be torn. I would like that torn look there. Like that. So are there shows that you are looking forward to starting again this fall? And you know what, Karen Haynes, it could be football because that's a show, right? Totally a show. I know Karen's looking forward to football for certain. Denver football. The Broncos. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I like that. Now it's just kind of has a little place to rest. And then we'll just put that right about there. Okay, so as of now, it's, pretty normal looking. And I don't want to, I'm not going to like it like that. I just had to see if I thought I would like it like that. So I just checked, and I don't. Put these little guys here. Now, if you don't have die cuts like this, and you're like, ooh, I kind of like this idea of little squares, cut little squares out of your pattern paper or plain cardstock, right? Colored cardstock. Cut little squares, or if you have a square punch, maybe, and you could, mimic the same thing. Just do some little squares. Could be kind of fun. This guy will go right here. See, this one's going fast, and you're like, well, yeah, well, so far. All right, that's a little bit too far over. Let's go back this way a little bit. Okay, now this is where it's going to get a little interesting. Going to get a little interesting here, because I thought, well, you know, that just, I don't know, kind of boring. I'd like to play a little bit, so I'm going back to my little collage book, and I have picked out 2 things that I think I want to use here. No, not the bird. We've already done the bird. Yeah, we already did the, yeah, no bird here. We already did the owl, so we don't need that there anymore. We're going to go here first. So we have a little TV, okay? We have 2 little TVs here, so I'm not sure which TV might work. I'm thinking it probably needs to be the bigger one. So I'm going to cut out this little TV. Let's see. The TV will probably need to tuck in here. Ooh, look, it's changing already, right? Now it's totally got a different look to it by just putting that little guy on there. Now, if you're like, oh, I'd like to do something like this, and I don't have a book like that, well, you can buy a book like that from me, or you could go to your local furniture store and pretend like you're shopping for TVs and ask if you can have a brochure for one of their TVs, and then you get their little brochure and you take it home and then you cut it up. Or go find an electronics magazine, right? Go Barnes & Noble and buy an electronics magazine and cut it up. All right, so here we go. Here's my little TV. Now, it could be like that. It's fine. It could stay like that. But when I was thinking about what I might want to do with that, I was looking in the beginning of this book. In the beginning of, it's the same author in both books. She kind of shows you some ideas, right? So this is a collage of a whole bunch of different things in the book. So she just had a lot of fun with cutting out all those things. So there were ideas like that. And I'm like, well, there's one, but I won't put that little guy there. That's a skeleton of a bird, ostrich, next to a TV. Oh, and you know what? You could use that TV there too. But what I saw, which was very intriguing to me, you're going to think, Lael, you have lost your mind. Where did it go? This. Well, this little thing, this little animal, probably an impala. I learned there are lots of different types of impalas. Impala is like the generic term. But that little guy, I thought, you know what? That would just kind of add a little whimsy to it, a little bit of fun. So that little guy is right here. Now, there's a couple of different guys that are little heads like that. And if look at this, we've got to see, would it be this guy or would it be this little guy? I think that little guy, his head's a little bit too little. I could put any of those animals on there really, but this is the guy that I'm going to do. And that little guy is going to come right out of the TV. He's going to kind of be sitting on top of the TV. And you're probably thinking, Lael, what in the world are you doing? You've got an impala sticking out of the TV. And no, there is not a TV show or series that I'm looking forward to that has an impala on it. So it's not literal. It's just kind of there. Just I thought it might be kind of a fun way to, I don't know, spice things up a bit. Spice things up. All right. So now, I don't know why I used those to cut it out. It would have been way easier to cut regular scissors, but we do a little fussy cutting with our little fussy cutting scissors. All right, so I had a couple times when I've used this book, I'm like, these are not stickers. You have to cut them out. And then I have found some sticker books like this. So I just got one order the other day. I haven't put them up on the website yet. And then I think I got another order tonight of sticker books like this. So you don't have to do the fussy cutting. So stay tuned for those. Now, because they're sticker books, they are, definitely more expensive than fussy cutting, but. All right, there we go. It's kind of fun, right? I know there were no rabbit ears on that. Those are the rabbit ears, but we'll call them impala ears, Carol. They're impala ears. rabbit ears, impala ears. Now that's actually interesting because it is kind of, then it's kind of like this, you know, it's kind of literal, but not really. Literal-ish. I know, that's funny, Carol. That's funny. You're so funny. Okay, here we go. This to me is just very freeing, and it's very like fun and whimsical and playing, and yeah. Here we go, there we go. That guy's got to go right in the center. There's a little bit of trapped white space there, but that's okay. All right, so shows I'm looking forward to, and it goes, because look at Owl and Paula. Owls and Paulas are the bestest of friends. Did you know that? Oh, I don't really know that. This is really funny. I walked in last night. Nick was watching, Stephen Colbert. And Stephen Colbert was showing, I guess, a past skit. And it was not a skit. It wasn't a skit. It was a past guest. And the guest was Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell. I think he is so funny. To me, he's just very funny. And he was sitting on the couch or chair or whatever, in the studio with Stephen Colbert, and he is pretending to be Marlon Perkins or the crocodile. No, not the crocodile. The Steve Irwin. All right. And if you're not familiar with either of those individuals, they were. I'm sure they did a lot of different things, but I pretty much know them from. They would go on late night talk shows. Again, they did a lot of different things, so not just this, but go on late night talk shows, and they would bring all these animals out. And when Steve Irwin used to do it, he would have his like safari hat on, and he'd have his safari clothes on and shorts or whatever, and they'd bring out all different kinds of animals. So this is now Will Ferrell, who's a comedian, and people are bringing out animals for him to show. And they're bringing out, one of them brings out like a little kitten. And he's holding this kitten, and he's like, Stephen, this is an incredibly dangerous animal. This animal will eat an impala in one foul swoop. And he is playing the part so well. And it's just so funny. And then Stephen Colbert is like, what's the animal's name? And he'd be like, Murgatroyd. And I mean, it's one of those you had to be there, but it's so funny. So if you like Stephen Colbert, and it's more Will Ferrell, not necessarily Stephen Colbert, go to YouTube and see if you can find it, because it is so funny. One of the last ones he brings out is a little gerbil, and it is this tiny gerbil. And he makes Stephen Colbert, he's like, you better put on these safety glasses, because this ferocious animal is going to eat a chicken. And they bring out a real chicken. And Stephen Colbert's like, what animal is that? Because he's pretending these are all different animals. He doesn't call it a gerbil. He calls it, some weird animal. And then Will Ferrell's like, it's a chicken, duh. But anyhow, he's going to eat this chicken. It's going to make a mess and whatever. So Stephen Colbert says, what's the animal, this little gerbil, what's its name? And he says cilantro. And they're killing themselves laughing. And it's really one of those you had to be there. But yeah, I probably just lost 50 people all at once. 50 people were here watching, and now they're like, yeah, and I'm out. She's talking about gerbils and Stephen Colbert and cilantro, and I don't understand. So yeah. All right, title for this one. This is shows I'm looking forward to this fall, right? So I need a title for shows. Let's see if we should do a little stampy here. Will this work? Shows? Shows? SHOW. It's not really going to fit. Nope, that won't work. So we'll do, how about Reggie Alpha? That's going to be really small, though. Okay. What if we did here? Shows. We could do the same letters, right? And then, even though they're two totally different lists, they look like they might go together. Let's try that. Let's just try that. I don't have a ton of letter stickers in my stash anymore, so I think we'll just go back to that same one. I mean, I could change the color. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll change this kind of this tannish color. Wait. Upper and lower. Yeah. Anyhow, these that I'm going through, upper and lowercase. Classic colors, they say. All right, little trick again. Let's make sure SHOW. H-O-W, and really we needed to make sure we had 2 S's. All right, so we're good. Let's take our ruler again and our tweezers, and let's pull our letters off. We're going to line them up on the ruler so they're straight, because I might not line them up on the lines on my insert. And then we'll also use it to center. That will really be where it is handy, to center it on our page. Let's see, come on, come on. Bent his little head a little bit. S-H-O-W-S. Ew, I better grab this one. The one I marked next to. Shows this fall. Did you guys tell me? I don't know. I ask questions and then I never go back and look at the, I miss the chat sometimes. Tracker. Kelly says tracker. I saw that because I didn't know. I'm like, ooh, what shows are coming back this fall? And then I looked and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all these shows are coming back this fall. But there's a whole list of like the top 50 shows or something that are coming back. I think I Googled, what are the most popular shows coming back this fall or something like that. Google is all knowing. And one of them did say Tracker. And I remember thinking, oh, Tracker. Is Tracker the one with the guy from This Is Us? Kevin? I think so. All right, shows. Shows. All right, so here's a little way, like I said, even though these lists, oh, this probably should be even. Even though these lists are totally different, we're making them kind of work side by side because they both have some fall products on them, and I used the same font. Oops, see, that guy got a little crooked there. So they kind of work together. That guy got really messed up. All right, shows. I'm looking forward to this fall. There are quite a few. I was very excited about some of them. There are some I didn't know were even, I thought the whole series was over. So that was kind of fun. Kind of a happy surprise. You may have a happy surprise. One of these shows you may not even know was coming back. Like, and it's not coming back this fall. It does not have a release date yet. It says coming soon. But did you know Ted Lasso's coming back? If you watch Ted Lasso, then very exciting. Looking forward to this fall. Shows I'm looking forward to this fall. Now, I guess we probably should do maybe another word there because we're basically doing side by side. So let's find another word. Let's see. Ooh, a snarky one might not work. I'm sorry, I went over it. One of us is right, the other one is you. I do this thing called what I want. I guess that would work, right? I do this thing called what I want. If I want to watch these shows, I'm going to watch these shows. That's probably a little bit of a, how about this one? That's a little bit of a stretch, but this one might be a little bit better. She was tempted to cause a scene. And then I think they're going to get too big here. So let's just do that, right? This one. Nothing says I mean business like using a cart at the liquor store. Some days I rely heavily on coffee and my ability to ignore reality. Nothing screws up your Friday like realizing it's only Tuesday. I didn't see anyone today, so I'm wearing this again tomorrow. Tell me you haven't done that. I've done that for sure. How about this one? From a procrastination standpoint, today has been wildly successful, right? Because that kind of, TV-wise, maybe I'll end up procrastinating or something. I'm just going to say that's going to work. We're going to make it work. Fallout. I do not know that one. Maureen likes High Potential and also Matlock. So Matlock, I know from the original Matlock, but I don't know new Matlock. But High Potential, I don't know that one either. And guess what? If you, and I know I keep saying Hallmark, but I know there's rabid fans of Hallmark Christmas movies, and so you could be looking forward to that. That could go on your list. There's no shame in that. Sometimes I've been known to need a little break and turn on a Hallmark Christmas movie just because you can really start one at any time and pick up what's going on like instantaneously because like I said, they all have the same plot. You could be looking forward to. I'm pretty sure they probably already started. It seems they start very early in the season. Okay, shows I'm looking forward to this fall. In the first idea book, there is a whole section on entertainment. So, favorite 80s bands, concerts you've been to, your top 10 chick flicks, songs that make you smile, favorite games, game shows. I used to love game shows. Sitcom characters, sitcoms on your watch list. So do you have a watch list of things that you want to watch? I guess I did favorite chips. Oh, I know. I did favorite chick flicks twice. No, it doesn't matter why. Movies that you have on repeat, your favorite love songs, most used phone apps, binged series, so series that you're binge watching. And then I even gave little ratings, star ratings, memorable ad slogans, iconic TV movie lines. Anyhow, so just some additional kind of entertainment ideas there. All right, so TV shows, I know which one we're going to use here. We are going to use, oh no, not TV shows, shows we're looking forward to. Well, we pretty much watch them all on a TV, so I am looking for the little TV set. The TV set does have Impala ears. From here on out, we are going to refer to them as Impala ears and not rabbit ears, okay? But this TV set does have Impala/rabbit ears. Oh, you can tell it's late. You can tell I'm punchy. Punchier than normal. Okay, I feel like we should use, I think that pink will be a little bit too light, but let's see. Let's see if we can find that pink. I don't think there's a pink that necessarily goes with that. Red, orange, red back here. Kitsch Flamingo. Let's do a pink TV. You know, we're already a little like whimsical, like crazy. So, Kitsch Flamingo. We can have a pink TV, right? I mean, we've got an Impala coming out of our TV set. So yes, we can have a pink TV. Pink TV came from Bullets and More. No, sorry, the TV, not the pink one. The TV came from Bullets and More too. All right, we have another run-on list. Shows I'm looking forward to this fall. Doc. Good night, Carrie. Doc. Doc we started watching last year, I think, about a woman, female doctor, who, and I'm not giving anything away because this happens like literally right away. She gets in a car accident and loses her memory from the last 8 years. And when you're a doctor, apparently that's a problem. Yeah, so we've enjoyed that. That was a good one. The Diplomat. With Carrie Russell. She is the ambassador to England, I think. We've really enjoyed that, actually. I'm going to put this here and not put one right there since I already have one here. Nobody Wants This. Nobody Wants This. That is an interesting one. That is, oh my gosh, blonde. What's her name? Shoot. I can't remember her name. She falls in love with a rabbi, and it's apparently is a big issue. Because I don't know, and I don't know the Jewish religion. I don't know I don't think it's okay for rabbis to be in a relationship. I don't think. And if it is, then maybe she's a different religion and it's not okay. But it's quite entertaining. Nobody Wants This. Kristen Bell, thank you. Yes, it's funny. Now, Zen Girls, if I remember, I think it's a little tiny bit racy, maybe? Am I remembering that correctly? Next one, The Morning Show. So The Morning Show. That is with Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell. Well, I better not say anything more about that, just because, there's changes in cast of certain shows. But yes, that's on Apple TV. Very much enjoyed. Very much enjoyed it is. Yes, it is. Yes, Zen Girls. So yeah, Little Racy. The morning now, isn't that funny? I'm sure when I start watching that again, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a Little Racy. Oh, because you know what they did? Didn't she do a podcast with her sister? Right? I think so. I think that now it's coming to me. And that was Nobody Wants This, not the morning show. This is just, you want to know a little interesting tidbit? If you ever wonder where stamp inspiration comes from, this stamp set, the 2025 About Last Month stamp set, was inspired by that font, was inspired by the logo of Nobody Wants This. Yeah. Kind of a little interesting. I mean, we didn't create that font. That's a font that's available that you can purchase for commercial license. But that's what kind of inspired that, if I remember correctly. Oh no, I know what it was. It was this. It was the stacked way. It was how this was stacked About Last Month. Because their logo was stacked like Nobody Wants This. And it's very similar font. Yeah. All right. Get inspiration from lots of places. Morning show. Oh, that's a good one. That is I think it is very much based on the Today Show and what happened with Matt Lauer back in the day. And he got in big trouble. And then literally his whole career went out the window. So I think it's very much based on that. Tulsa Kings. Do you watch any of these? Tulsa Kings, Sylvester Stallone. Tulsa Kings is a series that is produced by same guy. I can't remember his name. Does Tulsa Kings. He does Lioness. He does Landman. He did Yellowstone. All the same producer guy. And Tulsa Kings is about an ex-mobster who takes a fall for something and goes to prison for like 20 years, comes out, and then they banish him. He lives in New York. They banish him to Oklahoma. And so Tulsa Kings, it's Sylvester Stallone, is how he is like starting over in Oklahoma as a mobster. It's it's entertaining. Tulsa Kings. Mayor of Kingstown. Mayor of Kingstown. It is a police show, if I remember. Mayor of Kingstown. Jeremy Renner, maybe? I think it's Jeremy Renner. Oh, and I'm going to have an issue here. I'm going to have to really dig. I'm not going to be able to finish this list. I'm going to have to look for more shows. I probably should have done this way and not run on like this. Palm Royale. Oh my gosh, another blonde. It's late. I'm not remembering her name. Kirsten? I want to say maybe another Kirsten. I don't remember. Anyhow, it's very entertaining. Palm Royale. And then Landman. And Landman is about oil in Texas. Same producer as Tulsa Kings. All right, my friends, so look at I better go, and I won't do it now. I need to come back now and really spend more time looking at what shows I am looking forward to this fall. Now, these are shows that we've already been watching. So maybe that's what I have to do to fill this in. So these are continuations of series that we've already watched. I might have to go back and now go look at that list of really popular shows that are coming in the fall and be like, oh, you know what? I will add that one right now. Tracker. Tracker has caught my eye a number of times. So that may be one that we start watching. Anyhow, there we go, friends. And actually, also, I can write this one too. NFL football. I talked about that a little bit on Saturday. I am looking forward to that. Well, it's already started, right? All right, so there we go, you guys. We did almost 3 lists. Well, I'm calling that 3, right? I'm calling that done. So tonight, we did Glimmers. Glimmers took a long time because I feel like anytime we do glimmers, I want to kind of really talk about it because I very much like the whole idea of glimmers and just recognizing them. Whether you write them down and make a list or not is one thing, but so I always spend a little bit more time kind of talking through that. And then we have things I'm dreading this fall, and then shows I'm looking forward to this fall. All right, friends, 9:45. It is 9:45 my time. Actually, that's not bad. 3 hours. That's, 3 hours. That's not bad. I thought we'd be going until about 9:30, so that's what I usually think. We usually do about 3 hours, although Saturdays it's never only 3 hours. You guys are dropping like flies. All right, how about this? How about this, friends? How about all of you who stuck it out with me tonight? Let's do another live giveaway. Should we just really fast? Just another live giveaway. So I'm going to do it in 2 minutes, okay? So stick around 2 more minutes. I'll make it worth your while that you stay with me hanging out tonight, right? All right, so as I'm cleaning up, 2 minutes, and we'll do one more live giveaway. So guess what? Live giveaways, they work in the chat. So chat away. We'll do another $25 little gifty that you can spend on the website. I just have to write that down. 25, those are both live. Oh, and you know what? I don't remember who won before. It's fine. She'll tell me. I don't remember. I don't remember, but I remember she'll tell me, I think. It's late. Where was I? I don't even know where I am. All right, I'm putting this away. We're talking about our live giveaway. In a minute, I will stop what I'm doing and I will scroll my finger up in the chat, and that person, wherever my finger stops, will win $25 to spend whatever they want on the website. Doesn't include shipping, that's on you. But $25, that's awesome. You can buy some pretty fun stuff for $25. Stamp and die release, September stamp and die release, September 15th. So you might even go, ooh, I might want to save it for a week. All right, let's say that's 2 minutes. We're stopping, and the winner is Julie C. Fallon, MD. Julie Fallon! Julie! Congratulations, Miss Julie. Julie, was that you that I think it was, that you posted in the Facebook group that you were crafting away somewhere this weekend? Was that you? I think it was you. Anyhow, congratulations, Julie. Send me an email, please, lailbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put $25 winner, and then I will send you a coupon code, or I can just add it a credit to your account. That's easy. Either way, so you can shop. You can shop for whatever you want for $25. All right, my friends. There we go. Do I have Wednesday reveal this week? Carol, I do. Reggie, what are you doing? So guess where Reggie is? Standing on my list, right where we were just working. He knows I'm done. He's like, come on, Mom, it's time to be done. Yes, we're doing What's New Wednesday tomorrow night, Carol. So that is the 10th. September 10th, we're doing What's New Wednesday here at 6:30 p.m. So some fun things to take a look at. So if you guys have nothing else going on tomorrow night, pop in and join me. And if you do have something else going on, well, you can always watch the replay. All right, you guys, thank you. Oh, yes, Zen Girls, thanks for the reminder. If you're still here and you haven't given the video a thumbs up, if you would do that, I would certainly appreciate it. That's always super helpful. That helps YouTube's algorithm say, hey, people like it here, and then it shows our videos to other people, and then we build our community. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. If I don't see you tomorrow night for What's New Wednesday, I will hopefully see you on Saturday, September 27th in the afternoon. So watch for the listing schedule in the next email that comes out, because I think I put down 2 p.m. Pacific. Okay, so we won't be listing for a while, and I will miss it. I will miss you guys, but we'll be together again in September. Thanks for joining me tonight, or thanks for joining me for the replay. Remember, watch for glimmers. And if you're not seeing any, give someone a glimmer, because that will usually give you one in return. Okay? Bye! Okay, Reg, he's following me. I don't know what he wants, but he wants something. Good night, you guys. Okay, hold on. Here we go.